Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits and all of that good stuff. It has been a crazy day, crazy morning already. There's so much going on, and I want to cover those other cases, these other things as well. There's a lot that's been going on all at the same time. I mean, I'm not kidding. A lot of things are happening at the same doggone time. And of course, we're going to be talking about those hopefully in another show in a little bit. But because I wasn't able to get on with you guys yesterday and give you updates on this particular case, I wanted to get on this and make sure that I give you as much info and as much updates as I can in regards to this particular case of Mica Miller. And I'm telling you right now, it still doesn't make any sense to me. I'm going to be real. Still, something ain't right. Something just ain't right. But we're going to talk about it. So do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Okay? Hit it, crush it. Do whatever you need to do. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that reaction button if you're, watching on Facebook or any of these other platforms that I'm on live right now. Of course, hit that follow button on Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok, Instagram, okay? Follow me on all my social medias. That'll be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. And if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to crush that subscribe button. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. Of course, if you want to support the channel, become a member. Hit that join button down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you want to support the channel, join my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. You see it in the ticker going that way as we speak right now. Show some love, show some support, become a member. These purple lights don't pay themselves. Anyway, let's get into this, guys. Okay, like I said, a lot is going on right now. There's some stuff that's going on at Drake's house. Yeah, Drake's house, which I definitely want to cover and talk to you guys about in a little bit. We're not obviously here to talk about that, but that's some crazy stuff that's going on. And we talk about a lot of stuff on this platform and on this show. We don't only just cover true crime. We talk about a lot of stuff that's going on. And there is a crime that allegedly happened outside of Drake's house. I'm not kidding. We're going to talk about it in another show. There's still things percolating. There's still new information getting out here in these streets. We're going to talk about it when I get some time to do it. But first, because I wasn't able to talk about this yesterday, there has been some new information, some new bombshells, some new movement revolving around this particular case of Mica Miller. Now, as we already know, this young woman, hold on, guys. I'm trying to pull up her photo. This young woman right here was found unalive in a park with a GSW. Okay, we're going to talk like we just learned about it before the new information that just dropped. Okay, so a lot of people in her town, a lot of people that were part of her congregation, were instantly asking questions after her husband, allegedly estranged husband, went to his congregation near the end of a service and basically said, yeah, she gone. He also said this was a self-inflicted GSW. I got to use these code words, guys. Get ready, because we're going to be using a lot of code words throughout the course of this particular show. There's a lot of stuff being talked about. There's a lot of allegations. There's a lot of talk of DV, SA, etc. Just so you guys know. But he gives out this information. Oh, yeah, she gone, and she did this to herself, and it was with the pew-pew and all that, right? Congregation sat there, and they're like, of course, as you would. She is the first lady, okay, of this church. She is married to the pastor of this church. They are all very much connected to her, not only just emotionally, but spiritually as well. They break bread together. They've prayed together. They've wept together. That's what a congregation is. It's a family. Okay? Not by blood, but by the Spirit and by the joy and love of their relationship with Christ. Of course, they're going to be absolutely shook. Of course, there's going to be people aghast, clutching their pearls, at a loss for words. But it's how he said it to his congregation. It wasn't just him sitting there saying, "Hey, guys, I gotta let you know what's going on here. I got some devastating news." No, he basically said, "Yeah, we're gonna have here's an announcement real quick. Instead of everyone, instead of us usually doing a Easter Sunday in how we celebrate Easter Sunday, we're gonna do it differently." That's kind of how he presented this information. It was like an announcement, like clean up on aisle 4. It was kind of like that, just completely callous, completely disconnected, very curt. And then, of course, it's the information he said in his announcement. He lets them know about the GSW, that it was self-inflicted. Oh, she had a history of this kind of stuff, as you guys already know. That's what he said. She already had a history of mental health issues, and her medication wasn't getting to her soon enough, and all this stuff. What? Why would any person do this who goes out of their way to sit there and tell the congregation, who all knows and loves this woman, that kind of information in that type of fashion? So, of course, that sprung a lot of questions, sparked so many side eyes, everyone angry as hell, wanting to know what the hell happened here, right? People are speculating, we're speculating that there could be foul play. Now we got some new information, and so we got to pull this up. And I'm going to say this too. May this young woman rest in peace. She is now able to rest, okay? From what we understand, from the information that has been given out here, this woman went through hell. She went through hell. And I'm hoping, my Lord, I'm hoping she's getting the rest that she was looking for. I hate to say it like that, but because no one should be going out the way that she went out. Does that make sense? And how this happened to her is still extremely suspect, in my personal opinion. It doesn't matter what we're about to discuss. It does not matter. Something ain't right here. That's why I said, was she pushed to the edge? Was she pushed to this place? And I'm thinking maybe, but we're going to talk about that. Just because she may have done this to herself does not automatically mean that there wasn't somebody really, really in their head trying to get them to pull the trigger in the first place. So let's talk about this, okay? Because, of course, instantly when we hear about the cause of demise, when the medical examiner comes out with the bombshell information, everyone goes, okay, it's a wrap. The story's done. Time to move on. On to the next story. You know what I mean? Where's such and such? Where's, let's talk about the next conversation, right? The protesting will die down and all that. And I'm saying maybe the protesting shouldn't stop so soon. Let me explain. I'll explain that in a little bit. But let's take a look at this article right here. It says the cause of demise. I got to use these code words, guys, unfortunately. Has been released for 30-year-old Mica Miller of Myrtle Beach. Okay, amid ongoing investigation. According to Robeson County Medical Examiner Johnson, Miller passed away from a self-inflicted GSW. Okay, self-inflicted, it says. Dr. Johnson said, based on the nature of the wound, that it is consistent with a self-inflicted GSW. And it was not in the back of the head as it has been speculated. So, Johnson said he wasn't the on-call medical examiner the weekend she passed away, but he did go to the scene to assist the on-call medical examiner. He also serves as a regional pathologist for the North Carolina Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Following the determination of the cause of demise, the sheriff, Wilkins, said he scheduled a meeting with Mica's family and plans to release additional information about the medical examiner's findings on Tuesday. He also asked for anyone to please await the full timeline of events before making assumptions and coming to conclusions. We already know that she passed away on April 27th at the Lumber River State Park, according to the Robeson County Sheriff's Office. New reports released Monday detailed harassment incidents leading to her demise and that she was, quote unquote, afraid for her life. Friends and family held a rally Sunday out in front of Solid Rock Church. Now, this is when I came up from on my platform. People have been talking about this case for a few days, okay? But that was when I was like, oh, wow, they're now protesting? Okay, I need to get everybody up to snuff. I need to make sure y'all are savvy on this particular case, because that's crazy that people are outside of this church now protesting, okay? Mica's family also held a memorial service Sunday afternoon. At the same time, a memorial service hosted by Mica's estranged husband, Pastor J.P. Miller, was held at the Solid Rock Church. An announcement made by the church Sunday said Pastor John Miller was released from his ministerial functions for a time of healing, quote unquote, a time of healing, counsel, and guidance pursuant to our governing instrument. The church's website was also suspended over the weekend. Now, so he was relieved, okay, of his duties, of his pastoral duties, okay, at the church. Yet he still was holding the service in a celebration of life of Mica Miller at the church at the same time that there was a protest going on outside of the church and a memorial service that was held by Mica's family in a different place Sunday afternoon. Sunday was a very interesting and wild day, just revolving around the Mica Miller case, right? Now, you hear that from the medical examiner, they said that this was self-inflicted, that this GSW was not at the back of the head. It was on the side of the head. I'm assuming it was in a place that would instantly make them believe that this was self-inflicted. Now, let's talk about this. Because, of course, I know some people may be listening to this show, watching this show right now, being like, oh, Pascal, you are just trying to find something to stretch this out, to make it more dramatic than it needs to be and all that stuff. No. Okay. And some may go, hey, you just, well, the medical examiner said that she did it herself, so she did it herself. Let's move on. Next case, please. Well, hold on. Something ain't right here. We've already heard countless accounts from other people, and we got more here too that I'm about to share with y'all. Another affidavit from her brother that I didn't get a chance to show you guys yesterday has been revealed as well. Came out around the same time her sister put out that affidavit that we watched and listened to and read through yesterday. There's something that's not right here. That's why I'm saying, was she pushed to the edge? Just because she may have been the one with the finger on the trigger does not automatically mean she was the one that really pulled the trigger. You get what I'm saying? That maybe there were things that were leading up to this where she was absolutely harassed, tortured, put through some really bad things, people making her life a living hell to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. That could literally be it. Yeah, I know some people might be like, oh, this is like JE, like a JE conversation. All I got to say is that the fact that there have been things that have happened leading up to this, and the people that are connected to this pastor as well have a history of very, very questionable ways that their loved ones have passed as well, I have questions. No matter what, I got questiones. And I think you all should have the same doggone questions too. So here's the thing. I'm going to share with you guys first the affidavit that I didn't get a chance to show with you guys yesterday. This is from her brother, Nathaniel. Her sister, Sierra, put out an affidavit. And Nathaniel, her brother, put out his own affidavit as well. That's crazy, guys. So we got to take a look at this too. And again, you're going to hear the same kind of themes being said by Nathaniel, her brother. The same things are going to echo of how she was scared for her life, how she was being followed, how she was being messed with, harassed, whatever words you want to put in there to describe the hell that she was going through. You're going to hear from the brother now too. Separate person. Echoing the same things that the sister said as well. Let's look into this. So, I am the brother of petitioner Sierra Francis and descendant Mica in the proceedings in which pending before the probate. Okay, blah blah blah. I am Mica's only brother, having been raised by our parents, Michael Francis and Angelita Salas, with our siblings. And he lists the siblings. So moving on. My mom and my siblings, apart from our oldest sister, moved to Horry County. Hopefully I'm saying that right. In 2007. I was aware of Mica's family dynamics and the relationship with her husband, JP, and stepchildren, and they're the names. I'm not going to say their names. I saw Mica frequently as we both lived in Horry County and spoke to her on a weekly basis. I was also a member of Solid Rock. Now, this is very important. He was also a patron. He was also part of the congregation, for this church in which Pastor JP was out here preaching in the pulpit. He was there, and where both JP and Mica worked for several years until I left the congregation due to the behaviors I observed. Now, I'd like to know, what did he observe, baby? Mica confided in me that JP moved her belongings out of their marital residence in with this particular person so that he could, quote unquote, keep an eye on her. Now, I don't know who this individual is, but I'm assuming that, and remember, we talked about this in the other show. She was admitted into a mental health facility, right? She was in a mental health facility. During that time, that's when he moved her belongings out of their home to this woman's house. Now, it says to keep an eye on her. So my assumption, and it's just my assumption, this is just my theory, that obviously there was some sort of fight or some sort of incident, showed some sort of mental health issue, maybe not. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. And he said, all right, you out. But I still need to make sure you don't do anything crazy that could get me in trouble. So I'm going to take you over to this other person who is a part of the congregation that I am still very close with. She going to be my eyes when I can't have my eyes on you. I'm still going to have control over you. But all your stuff is over here. You're not in the house. You're over here at this person's house that I have made sure was properly vetted and I gave the thumbs up to. But you're going to be over there now. When you get out of the hospital, you'll be there. And I'll still keep, quote unquote, keep an eye on you. Let's continue on. Following this, Mica then retained an attorney for the purposes of filing for divorce from her husband and joined a new church. She went off and said, I'm out. Bye-bye. Okay? Whatever happened around the time that she was admitted into a mental health facility and him moving her stuff into this woman's home so that he could still keep an eye on her, it was enough for her to sit there and say, I'm out. I don't want to be associated with the Solid Rock Church anymore. I don't want to be up there praising with my husband anymore. We are gone. We are done. I'm chucking up the deuces and I'm out the door. She was filing for divorce and she joined a new church. She wants nothing to do with that congregation or that church. That says something. Now, let me say this really quick before we continue on, before we go down this trek. There are things being said. The streets are talking, and they're basically saying something along the lines of, Mica found out some things about funny money. That's all I can basically say. Funny money. Like the money that was moving around in this church and within the pastors and the people that were a part of this church, it was weird. This is what people are allegedly saying. Now, I could be absolutely 110% wrong, but this is what people are speculating. And that because of that, she found out about some things, was not cool with it because I guess how money and how business was being ran behind the scenes. She wanted nothing to do with it. She called JP out on it. And then he just went ahead and said, oh, yeah, you crazy, and put her into a hospital because she found out some things that maybe she shouldn't have found out. I mean, that's allegedly what is being said here. And then and of course, the information and the things that also were being alleged, like her having countless pieces of information, being subjected to acts of the carnal nature with other participants in their marital bed, and her being the Cassie to his Diddy. I'm not joking. All that information, I'm sure he was like, nah. You have too much information, and now you know even more information. And if you about to squawk out here in these streets, oh no, you crazy. No, you're crazy. You're going into a mental health facility. Oh, and by the way, I'm moving your stuff out because I'm done with you. And I've already moved on already. So I already got a new main squeeze. I already got my side piece already trying to slide into the house already. But I still need to keep an eye on you because you might go out here and start talking. And I gotta get ahead of this when you get out of the hospital. So here it is. I'm gonna have you over here. And I'm not sure about this part. This is just assumption and this is speculation, but this girl, I've properly vetted. She's part of the congregation, so she'll keep a good eye on you. But we done. For now, at least. And I'm still gonna keep my finger on the situation. If that makes any sense. That's just my assumption. Okay, that's just what the equation that I have concocted, okay, over the past couple days, listening, reading, and just consuming all this information revolving around Pastor JP and poor Mica. I think Mica went through some really, really bad, terrible things. I mean, you talk about homeless dudes. Like I'm not, it doesn't even matter if they're homeless or not. It's just random individuals coming into your marital bed and you're the center of attention, for lack of a better term. You got years of that type of stuff, that type of treatment. Then on top of it, if there's any shady dealings that were going on in the behind the scenes, money-wise or not, within the church, that's a woman that has a lot of valuable information and very damning information, not only just on Pastor JP, but also on the church itself. Just something to put in your pipe and smoke on for a minute. So let's continue on. So I can see why. I'm not sitting here saying that I condone it. All I'm saying is I can see why, if any of that information is true, why he would have continue to keep an eye on her. And let's not forget the amount of ridicule and harassment that she dealt with all the way leading up to her demise. All of that as well. People flattening her tires, people going and following her everywhere she went, making her life a living hell. All those things. All that ridicule and etc. leading all the way up to her final last breath on this in this life. That's crazy, guys. Like I said, look at the title, look at the thumbnail. Was she pushed to the edge? Let's continue on, though. Number 8. I have received communications in the past from JP Miller stating, this is important, that he knew no reason for divorce, but he wanted a separation and gave reasons why. The email I received on April 3rd, 2023 included a forwarded email from Mr. Miller to Mica dated on April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2023, to an email address that did not appear to be Mica's. Just 2 weeks later, Mica forwarded me an email from Mr. Miller, JP, dated April 15th, 2023, to correct her email address as shown. There's more. There is more. Let's get into it. So Mica told me of legal documents she prepared so that I would be able to make decisions for her well-being. However, those documents were not located. The only legal documents discovered appointed Mr. JP, Pastor JP, as her power of attorney. So wait a second. So suddenly now legal documents making Pastor JP her POA. But there's other information out here, or there were other documents out here making Nathaniel be the one to make decisions for her well-being. If she ever had to be admitted into a hospital of some sort, or say something bad was to happen to her where she can't make decisions on her own, it was supposed to be Mica's brother that was supposed to be the power of attorney, the POA, not Pastor JP. But imagine this. Think about this, though. If Pastor JP had POA, one, that could have control over her monies, that can have control over her well-being if she's in the hospital and she can't make decisions for herself, AKA, do we keep her plugged in, or do we pull the plug? Those kinds of things. For someone, if he's out here in a sinister type of way, wants this person no longer here anymore so that he can move on with his life and marry and have his other side chick be his main chick, damn right he's going to want to have power of attorney. He's going to have control over her money and her well-being. Oh, no. She's a vegetable, and she can continue living as a vegetable or pull the plug, or certain procedures that may need to be done that could be life threatening, right? That could be very dangerous, and she can't make those decisions for herself. Homeboy could sit there and go, which one's the most dangerous one? Yeah, let's do that one. Let's see what happens. Clearly, this is not somebody who is this guy, this pastor, if you want to call him a pastor, does not come off like the kind of guy who really gives a damn. Just saying. And there's footage out here, man. This pastor out here just saying everything. There's things that a pastor shouldn't even be saying, and he's saying it in his sermons. Talk about, bullets and all that stuff, and you know what I mean? Oh, if ever there are people in my life, I can't wait for them to be gone. Like, what? You're a pastor. You were the chosen one. You know what I mean? You just don't say certain things like that. You go with God. You know what I mean? Amen to that. And you move the F on. Oh, I'm going to pray for him. That's it. You don't sit there and go, oh, yeah, I can't wait for that person to be dead. What? That's insane. That's insane. Okay? This is not a good person. This is not a pastor, in my personal opinion. Let us continue. Holy cow. So she made decisions to have paperwork lined up, legal documents to make sure that Nathaniel was the one that was going to take over if ever something was to happen to her and her well-being. And guess what? All that stuff gone. Just like all the other paperwork that she had. Remember when Sierra's affidavit, it says in there, she had so much paperwork, emails, documents, etc. All of it gone. All of them gone. Why? I'm telling you, like I said before, she knew and knows a lot more. And Pastor JP does not want that information out here. But it's already out here now. Everybody already knows about his family's past and all that. And his family's past is crazy. It just makes my skin crawl even thinking about it, y'all. But let's continue on. Mica made several police reports over the last few weeks of her tires being slashed and tracking devices being found on her car. In Mr. Miller, Pastor JP's emails forwarded to me. Here's something interesting. He apologizes to Mica for the tires and causing damage to her vehicle. What? Pastor JP's email to my sister continued to state that he was angry when Mica confided or, quote unquote, put her family before him. And that made him want to hurt her. In his words, when someone hurts me, I try to hurt them back rather than forgive. And instead of me forgiving you, I just attack and I try to cause pain. You can't make this stuff up, y'all. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. And this is an affidavit. Okay? These are legal documents. Why would Nathaniel go out of his way to lie with this information? Because let's be real. If Mica just did this and did this unthinkable thing to herself, okay, no matter what, still very tragic. And I can understand any family member going, no, this just does not make sense. This is not right, blah, blah, blah. But when you have breadcrumbs, then these aren't even breadcrumbs, okay? They're full-on slices of bread. It's like, and here, and here. And it leads you all the way to this smorgasbord of craziness. Why would they go out of their way to type out two different affidavits coming from two different family members saying the same thing, but not the same thing? They both have two completely different stories, or actually a slew of different stories about Mica being terrorized by this mother lover. Like I said, this ain't breadcrumbs. It's a full-on, they're loaves of bread. Just blah. They went to the supermarket, just bought a gang of them, said, we're just going to place them all on here, leading up to something sinister, y'all. Something sinister, in my personal opinion. Okay? Something very, very sinister. Let's continue. Have mercy. Like I said, when someone hurts me, I try to hurt them back rather than forgive. That is not what a pastor says. Do you realize that? That is not what a pastor says. He was angry whenever Mica would sit up and try to talk to family. And he would say, you're putting your family before me. And then that would make him want to hurt her. Instead of forgiving you, I just attack and try to cause pain. This is not a pastor, y'all. This is a monster, a narcissistic, evil, maniacal monster. Mica told me on numerous occasions that she feared JP and just wanted to escape him. Our family is very supportive of one another, and especially in this time of grieving. I believe that my sister Sierra is the appropriate person to step into Mica's shoes and continue what was started by her, both to secure her assets and to determine her portion of the marital estate. You know, listen, just from this stuff alone, he apparently, and I would love to see these emails, so I'm hoping that this all is 100% accurate. Hopefully Nathaniel has this information. Hopefully he's got it printed out. I hope that he has it on flash drives. I hope he's emailed it to some friends of his just in case somebody tries to hack into his ish and tries to delete this ish from his stuff. But I'm telling you right now, okay, this is crazy. And if any of this stuff is true, have mercy. Have mercy. Real quick, I got a couple super chats and all that too. Priscilla said this, and this is the other thing too. Hold on. Because we got video clips, news clips, and all that we gonna sink our teeth into. It is absolutely nuck and futz. Okay, it is absolutely. Someone on JLR was anonymous. They are scared. I pray that they start coming forward with Mica's family. The family is crying today coming out of sheriff's office. You know what? And I guarantee you the reason why they're crying walking out of the sheriff's office is because the case is closed. I hate to say it like that, but you got to remember, what did I say to you guys a couple days ago? Like Sunday when we talked about this. I said, the police are not going to sit here and waste countless hours, potential taxpayer money on a case they think is closed. Now, this is my assumption. Maybe the conversation that the family had, Mica's family had, is completely different, and I could be absolutely wrong. But 9 times out of 10, when you see something like that, after the medical examiner's office says, "Yep, it was a self-inflicted thing," a lot of times they close the book. Just like I said earlier in the show, a lot of times we hear the medical examiner comes out, it's self-inflicted, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's really crappy, RIP." Next case, that's literally what happens on a lot of these other cases. So if they are still looking into this, then that tells me something as well, that maybe there is something else going on here. And I hope that law enforcement, I hope I'm wrong. Let me be wrong. Please let me be wrong. I hope that they're still investigating this and looking into this, because there is a history of her being harassed. There's a history of her life being threatened. There's a history of her car being tracked. All this stuff. Like, there is vandalism. All these things that have been going on with Mica. She has told countless times to family members that she's scared for her life, that she fears for her life, and that she has to escape him. Escape, not I need to get away. I need to, I'm not happy with him. We need to divorce. We need to move on. I need to go on to greener pastures, and so does JP. It just didn't work out, And sometimes marriages just don't work out. No, she says she wants to escape him. That throws out this all day long. As soon as you hear your sister, your friend, your brother, your cousin, your mama, your auntie, any of them sit there saying, "I'm scared of being around Toby and I need to escape him." You hear that? I'm calling cops. You're scared of your own spouse? Nah, bruh. Nah. Nah. I don't know why Toby came up, but you know what I'm saying. Okay? You're scared of being with him and you need to escape him. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. You see emails that he is apologizing to her and saying, when someone hurts me, I just hurt them back. I'm not there to forgive and forget and move on. No, I need them to feel the pain that they inflicted on me. That's a pastor saying this, guys. A man of the cloth, a person that's going out of his way to tell people, preaching you the word of the Lord. And I said, Jesus, no, this guy is also making his wife's life a living hell behind closed doors. Literally. There are allegations of SA, allegations of them going into two places and her being the center of attention where I can't even say these things out loud. Like there's things I can't even say because they're just so disturbing. So disturbing that in my mind, I'm like, this is for real. But they would have random people come into the house and do things with her or on her. Okay? Random people. There's things about a dog, I don't know, and a toy that looks like a 4-year-old. I don't know. But these are the allegations that have been put out here, and it's been absolutely knucking futs. But real quick, before we continue on into more of this conversation, because I'm still, like I said, my mind is still absolutely blown over this whole case. And the fact, yeah, Jaxie, I'm telling you, it's WTF all day long. Like I said, it is really, really, really crazy. Okay. It's really, 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 really crazy. I mean, this woman was basically getting lurked to her demise. I can't say the S word, unfortunately. I don't know why they don't like that word on this platform either. But this woman, was lurked to her demise. Okay. This woman was pushed to the edge, beyond wit's end, to the point where she mentally broke several different times. In fact, I recommend every single one of you guys. There's if you guys don't know, man, if y'all don't know about plunder, then I don't know what's wrong. There's something wrong with y'all. I'm kidding. There's nothing wrong with you. You just may not know anything about plunder. But y'all need to go check out some plunder. Okay? Plunder, fire. Okay? She has a video that I can't play here. All right? Because the conversation is very adult. All right? But she recently popped up a video last night where she shows a video, or she has a video in which there is a old video that was posted where Mica is talking about her struggles with mental health, where she was at the brink of trying to self-inflict. Okay? And she talks about how she tried to, pull the pew-pew, and the pew-pew didn't go off. It actually misfired. Now, it's an interesting video. I would say T-dubs all day long if you're going to go and watch it. But there is video of Mica actually talking about her mental health and where her mental health is at that moment, right? Plunder found it. I don't know how she found it, but that's why she's fire, okay? And I always give credit where credit is due, all right? Especially these awesome content creators that are out here. And she posted it. Now, yes, she clearly had some serious mental health issues that she was battling with every single day. But do you think that the person that she was living with, that was supposed to be her protector, her own personal cheerleader, the shoulder to cry on, the crutch to lean on, all that stuff, do you really think that was Pastor JP? Probably not. After all the things that you hear about what she went through, what she endured, I wouldn't be surprised if this man was throwing kerosene on an already very, very hot fire. So I got a couple of videos I want to share with you guys. All right. Because, there's Banfield was talking about this as well. And, this is the kind of stuff that actually does happen. And I think that there's a dire need for us to have a real conversation out here and full awareness of this type of M. I believe this to be M. Yes, she did it herself. This is what the medical examiner is saying. They're saying by the evidence that is given to us in the, on her and in the crime scene and all this, this was done by herself. But I think he was the one who was constantly poking the bear and pushing her closer and closer to the edge, to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. And she did what she did. That's what I honestly think. It was an assisted. And this man should see the inside of a courtroom as soon as possible. And if it's not because of her demise, it's because of the other crimes that he committed against her and other victims as well. Don't worry, we're going to get into that in just a minute. This is not somebody who just goes, oh, she gone, cool, I can live my life now. No, I think by her leaving this planet, she didn't leave. She is speaking from the grave right now as we speak. From this show and the multitude of other shows and other platforms and podcasts and news shows that are talking about this case right now. She is speaking like crazy right now because there's other people that have been pushed to the edge just like this. And those monsters that pushed them to the edge are out here celebrating and living their life like it's golden. This young woman should still be alive. She should have been able to divorce this man without any problems. She should have been able to live her life exactly how she wanted to live it. Let's take a look at this video.
I also want to bring in two people who knew Mica and John Paul very well.
Whoops. Wrong one. That's the other one. I'm going to share that with that one with you guys too. This one first, though.
And he is just not buying into the notion that this was suicide. What else did you find out from him?
Well, he basically, I think, echoes what a lot of people are feeling at this time, which is like really just troubled. He knows both of them. A lot of people here are reticent to talk.
I may have it backwards, but actually, I think I have it backwards. Damn it. I hate when that happens. I think I have it backwards. Excuse me, guys. Let me see if I got this right. Hopefully I do.
I also want to bring in two people who knew Mica and John Paul very well.
Son of a gun. Let me do this one. Sorry, guys. Last time. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
And he is just not buying into the notion that this was suicide. What else did you find out from him?
Well, he basically, I think, echoes what a lot of people are feeling at this time, which is like really just troubled. He knows both of them. A lot of people here are reticent to talk. He wasn't. He was also at this church, which is JP. He goes by JP's church. This man is Tim Carter. I believe we have some sound of he and I talking back and forth. So let's just roll that sound.
I'm not going to judge my gut feeling. I don't agree. The young lady was energetic. She was making plans. It just doesn't sound like someone committing suicide. It sounds like someone that's getting ready to live life again, really starting her life over. And just going off what we've seen, what I witnessed, the character and how treatment and how we were treated and talked to. And I just don't believe it for a minute.
Yep.
You mentioned she was making plans. Like,
See, but sorry, real quick, I'm gonna let them let him speak and all that. But I got to hop in and out of here because of fair use and all that crap. But yes, and interesting that even after they hear from the medical examiner office, which is legitimate, right? unless the family's like, no, we're doing our own independent autopsy and all that. For the most part, they're looking at this and they're saying, okay, I mean, they should just take it at face value and go, okay, this is what it is. It was a self thing. It was a self-inflicted thing. But even the public is sitting here saying, nah, something ain't right here. I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. He's just sitting there like, nope, with his Harley Davis hat on, saying, hail to the no. I ain't feeling it. No, sir. Something ain't right. And we're all very smart, critical thinkers out here for the most part. And even us critical thinkers are looking at this going, okay, maybe she did that part, but did she really do this on her own? You don't think that this man was pushing her to the point where she couldn't take it anymore? You really think that this is all just her just having one really, really bad day and that's it? No, this guy was making her time hard for years, by the way. Years. So maybe law enforcement can look into this and do a little bit more math. Because this is a very long equation. Okay? This is not just 2 + 2 = 4. This is a big ass equation. Let's continue.
Type of plans.
I'm going to roll that back.
I understand you can talk to, and I just don't believe it for a minute.
You mentioned she was making plans. Like, what type of plans?
From what I understand, she had an appointment to get her hair done this week. She was looking forward to moving on. She had filed paperwork and just served it 2 days prior.
So not behavior somebody who's planning to take their own life.
Not if I'm thinking about suicide. I'm not worried about court dates and paperwork or my hair.
I mean, hold on.
It doesn't sound that to me.
See, this man right here is not wrong. Why would you set up all this stuff? Why would you even go through with getting those papers delivered to Pastor JP if you really were thinking of later on that week or later on that day or a couple days from there, erasing yourself from the planet? I'm telling you right now, something's not right here. Now, how can they prove it? I don't know. But I do truly believe in my heart of hearts, she may have received some sort of text or a phone call that sent her beyond. What that could be, I don't know. Could be blackmailing footage from these alleged outings or these things that happen in their home, right? There's a lot to think about. And there could have been something that said she sent or she was received, I'm sorry, that just took her over the edge. So real quick, let me grab some of these things really quick. Jordy just said this really quick. Thank you so much for the, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Wish law enforcement would get all her devices, retrieve info. That's what I'm hoping for as well. I really am hoping for that. I really think that that's what they need to do, right? Retrieve all of her stuff to see who's the last person she talked to. Was it JP? Because he could have said some crazy stuff. He could have said, I got footage of every single encounter with all of these alleged people. And I'm about to send them to every person you know. That could make somebody go crazy. That could make somebody lose it for show. Who was the last person she talked to before she passed away? That's what I'd like to know. Jackie Sue, thank you so much for becoming a member. I think you're just renewing yours, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for renewing it. Okay, welcome back. Mandy. Oh, Mandy. Right? Isn't that a song? Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Melly, what's up? Pascal, hello and hi, and hello people in the chat. Hello, hi. Hi, that's me waving at you. How you doing? How you doing? Mrs. and Mr. Steelers, what's up? Thank you so much for being a member for almost 2 whole years. Damn, doing great work as always, Pascal. Free Palestine. Thank you so much for it. For that, I really do appreciate the support and the comment. Tired as a mother. DV is not just physical, mental, emotional, and SA is DV. You're right. You most definitely right. Justice for all women and men who were victims. Yes. All the live long day. All the live long day. Melly, many demons hide behind the word of God. You're right, Melly. Ain't that crazy? By the way, I'm gonna say this really quick. Let me do this last super chat here really quick before we move on. 0Fs. Thank you so much for the love. Have you read and heard the 911 call? It's on Facebook. I haven't seen it yet, but if somebody has it, please send it my way because I'd love to see that. Okay. Ray just said he a fraud talking about God. Yeah. Or hiding behind the word of God. Yes. So one thing I want to point out really quick. I sat down and I watched the Hillsong documentary series, the docu-series, the mini docu-series yesterday. First off, what? that was crazy. That was crazy. But it's interesting how deep it goes. It's, beyond the rock star preacher guy, right? But beyond Carl Lent, it goes way deeper than that. It goes into the Houstons and the founders of the Hillsong Church, right? It goes beyond because Hillsong is basically like McDonald's at this point now. It's all over the world, right? It was very mind-blowing to see how deep and messed up it really is, and how many victims there are throughout the Hillsong lineage. Does that make sense? Throughout the Hillsong legacy. Let's just say that. It's pretty wild, okay? And really mind-blowing to hear this information. I'm going to be real. I was like, what is how kids, men, women, I mean, it was like, wow. And Hillsong's still out here from my understanding. Last I checked, right? But it kind of started with the Carl Lent situation where he said, he's like, oh, your bodies must be pure and all this stuff. And next thing you know, he bumping uglies with everybody and their mama, like that. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And allegedly he's still with his wife. He's still living life with his kids and his wife. So either they leaned on on scripture and on God and worked through it or something. But he's still out here. Okay. Haley, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. In my state, autopsies are based solely on the body in front of the medical examiner. It does not take the outside info into account. My nephew was ruled self-inflicted by autopsy, but the forensic investigation ruled it accidental. Interesting. So I'm hoping, Haley, thank you so much for this information. Let me, little clues horn real quick, but let me tell you this really quick. I hope that if that is the case, that the family and maybe some members of the family are watching the show. Hi, my condolences, but I really highly recommend you guys getting a second autopsy done just for your own sanity before you bury her or before you do whatever you need to do. I mean, not bury her, but before anything, see if you can get a second independent autopsy done for yourself and for your own sanity. Because I've heard that in that town, in that area, there have been a lot of cases that have been ruled a self-inflicted thing when family members are going, how was that even self-inflicted? So just saying that out loud. And I'm hoping somebody in the family or somebody connected to the family is watching this show right now and could just send them that information. Get an independent autopsy done right now. Moving on. It's under Robeson County Sheriff's Office post. Okay, I'll look for it. 0Fs. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super chats. I just wanted to get those before it gets a little crazy here. So let's continue here. Okay, let's continue back into the conversation on the News of Nation. Okay, but second autopsy would be helpful. You know what I mean? You know what, Josie? Maybe that's a better choice too. A forensic crime scene investigator. Yeah. You know, maybe calling up Joseph Scott Morgan, you know what I mean, of Body Bags, you know, something. Just bring somebody in it. I think would be extremely helpful just to get an outside perspective on her case. That's all. Kind of curious about that. Let's continue. I'm going to let this play while I look this thing up on Facebook.
So basically, his sentiments echo what the family is saying. They're asking for a deep investigation here, Ashley.
So I have another question, and it's about another pastor. There seem to be a lot of pastors and deacons and leadership and former members, et cetera. But to be clear, I think, so just to get clarity, I think you spoke with another pastor as well. I'm not sure if he was at that church or another church, but it's somebody who actually knows John Paul, and he had a very different read on the whole situation. What do you know?
Yeah, he basically had the same, like he's known JP for his whole life. He was in leadership here at this church. He said point blank, JP did not kill his wife, Mica. I said, how do you know it? He said, I don't know, but I know JP. So he's very defensive of his character. He says, look, he was counseling them. Something did happen, he said, in January, but he doesn't know what.
What about this whole notion that he thinks that there's an alibi to this, that the pastor in question has an alibi, which would get him off scot-free? Why won't he just come forth and tell everybody before the media speculation, runs amok?
That's a good question. This pastor said JP was in another part of South Carolina at the time. That will come out. So I said, like, why don't we all just talk on the record? And then he officially just declined about 10 minutes before air tonight. He said, I cannot talk to you on the record about this anymore.
And then just to be clear here, Rich, the incidents that Mica had reported, it's redacted. We don't know who the suspect is, but if you read it, it kind of looks like she knows the person, that the same person kept coming back and, coming after her. She says, I got a razor in my tire. I had a tire deflation device. I went to get it repaired, and they discovered the tracking device. And as she's at these places and getting gas, this suspect is driving up and kind of almost chasing her location to location. And there's witnesses to this. Why is it all redacted? And is anybody saying who that suspect is? Is it John Paul, the estranged pastor husband?
People believe it is. Why it's redacted is anybody's guess. We're talking with local police here. There's something I do want to bring up that we haven't discussed yet, is that in an affidavit in the probate court, Mica's family just filed trying to take control of this. Her sister wrote, that Mica said to her, if I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me, it was JP. That is in court documents. So that's like she's almost speaking from the grave, Ashley. It's kind of chilling.
There you go.
Rich McHugh, it's still a mystery. And
it's crazy because now we do have some new information that I'm going to share with you guys in just a minute. I just need to finish this segment out. Okay. Thanks to Zero Fs. I do appreciate the update. We do have a new update. We're going to be listening and talking about that here in a second, but I do have a second part to this video that I want to share with you guys. And then I got the new updates revolving around dispatch call and more of a timeline on the final moments before Mica did this unthinkable thing, guys. So just sit tight. We got a little piece left that I want to share with you guys, and then we're going into these very interesting details that I just gathered just a second ago. So I got it. I don't know if you guys need to email me anything. I found it myself. We're going to talk about that in a second. I also do have something as well that I was planning on sharing with you guys here too. An ex-girlfriend spoke out. I have that on the docket as well in regards to this as well. So we got all of this and more. So stay tight. Okay. Sit tight. We got more. Okay. So let me share this one too. I also want to bring in two people who knew Mica and John Paul very well. Ken and Alicia Young were members of the Solid Rock Church, and they often socialized with Mica and with John Paul. Thank you to both of you for doing this. If I can, Ken, let me start with you. You were a worship leader at this church. You were there 2019 to 2020. You socialized with this couple, Mica and John Paul. You went to movies. Can you describe for me what their relationship was like?
First of all, thank you for having us on. But, you know, it's kind of a loaded question. When we first met them, you know, I saw what, you know, on the surface, it seemed to be a happy relationship. There were just some things that I saw. So I got to know them more and ways that he would speak to her at times, and just was just kind of red flags. I can't say it was one particular incident, just like, oh my gosh, it was just kind of a consistent way that he treated her. And honestly, in some ways, he kind of treated a lot of women that way, from what I saw.
So I want to ask you something. I know that you have mentioned before that one of the things that you really disliked about this church and the leadership of this church in particular was that there was, quote, immorality, hypocrisy among the leadership. With that in mind, it's a little astounding to learn that he met her when she was 14 as a member of the youth group, like the youth program there, and he was married with, I think, 5 kids. So was there did he have an affair with Mica and leave his wife and children to be with her? And if that's the case, how old was she when he did that?
Have mercy.
So I remember a specific conversation that I had with him when that was brought up, and it was because I'd heard about that. Like there were rumors, you know, going around that their relationship even started in infidelity and things like that. And in my conversation with him, he did basically confirm that. He did not get into her age. What he said to me point blank was that she was in my youth group. We became friends. Over time, it became kind of something more.
She was in my youth group. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she was a babysitter and that's how he met her, or if she was a part of his youth group. Let me say that again. She was 14, 15 years old. This man was 30 years old. He has already had a life. He was already with a wife and children at this time. You got to remember, he met her, whether it is, you know, what he's saying is accurate. If it's 100% accurate, he is saying that he met her in a youth group, not a prayer circle, not a, you know, Bible study thing with adults, youth group. Okay. Just want to send that home a little bit. Okay. Let us continue.
And that was probably the gist of it as far as I can remember now. I mean, it's been years ago, but it was a little concerning. And there were other members of the church.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were other members.
That's very concerning, right?
Oh, very, yes. And there were other members of the church, though, that when I asked about it, that it was just kind of, it's something that kind of just everybody knew and accepted. And
so let me ask you this, because you might give it a pass once, and maybe not. I mean, I wouldn't, but okay, some people might. They might get over it. But as I understand it, he's married. He has children. He meets a 14-year-old, eventually gets married to that older 14-year-old in her early 20s. And you know, I don't know, Alicia, if you can add to this, but he then allegedly begins another affair with a church member who has a husband who uses a wheelchair, who mysteriously ended up dead and drowned in a pool. Is that accurate?
Yes.
She was quick to, yes. Yeah. And ain't nobody looking at this situation going, what is really going on here? Like I said, we got some new information we're going to look at here in just a few minutes. I promise you guys, but at the same time, what the hell? Okay? What the hell? All right? Good God. Is it true about the paraplegic husband that mysteriously passed away? And she's like, yes. Yeah. People already know about this stuff. This is crazy.
That's what we've been told by people who have reached out. We've spoken to former church members. We've spoken to current church members, and people, and also family. It's kind of common knowledge, and that's kind of why it's the head scratcher. And because it's like, if it's common knowledge, why hasn't something been said? But basically, what we've been told by people, Ashley, is that that he groomed her from a young age, and married her when he was able to, and but I will say that when I met them, on the surface, at least at that point in time, it seemed like a fairly healthy marriage. She didn't seem like.
Can I ask?
I mean, but that's how it usually is, right? The marriage looks like everything's perfect on the outside, but on the inside, it's dark and disturbing, or maybe it's moments of really great times, and then it gets very dark at times. I don't know how often this has happened, but my dear God, like, my God, okay? This is crazy, okay? And of course, you're not going to have, it's not like she's going to go to just everybody and tell everybody this, because she's scared. She was scared. You got to remember, though, too, the videos that we showed on yesterday's show, and I was sitting there going, I think she was very alone. I think she was scared. I think she was alone, and she had no place to turn to, because the only place that she had was her church. She had her congregation, but that congregation was with him. That congregation is listening to him speak all day. He's on the microphone all day long, massaging and manipulating every single last patron in that church. You got to remember that. So then if she was to try to turn to anyone and say, this man is pulling up to areas and picking up randos and bringing them into our marital bed to perform acts of things that you only see on P-Hub type stuff, how is she going to be able to say that to a person that is a patron that goes to his church, without them either going back to him or her finding herself getting ridiculed and looked at like some dirty individual? The scare, the fear of that ridicule, that fear of embarrassing oneself, the fear of everyone looking at her like she is out of her mind. Oh, she's been talking about mental health issues. You're telling me he said he's making you do what? And that's for real. Yeah, she's got some issues. Pastor JP, God bless you, but a great sermon, but I'm really concerned about your wife. Your wife said some things to me, in confidence. It was just me, but she said some things that I don't know. I think I need to tell you about, because I don't know. I'm kind of concerned about her well-being. Is she okay? And here's all the information. She said all this stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's some deviant, real messed up things. And so I just need you to know that that's what she's saying right now. You don't think people are manipulated enough to be Team JP all day long? So yeah, doesn't matter if she had all the opportunity to say something. Who is she going to say it to? When everybody around her would praise and hoist this man on their shoulders because he was their leader to faith. It's scary, y'all. So when you see those videos where she's like trying to say things without actually saying it, but she's saying it though, she's clearly trying to send a message. And it's not only just to him, but it's also to the other people that may be only listening to what he's saying in these sermons. Like I said, this man is going on sermons and saying crazy stuff. He's saying things about their relationship without actually saying, oh, this is what me and my wife went through. He's using it as a story and saying, another pastor friend of mine I know. No, mother, you talk about you. That ain't some other pastor. That's you lurking and going through your wife's phone and making your wife's life a living hell. But you're not saying those things. You're flipping it around to make it sound like something else, to make you sound superior. That's messed up. Let's continue, though.
Yeah, can I ask this, Alicia? You know, I guess that the essential question here, Alicia, is, do you believe that it is at all possible that your friend Mica took her own life, or do you suspect that her pastor estranged husband is at fault here?
I absolutely do not believe that she took her own life, because she was energetic and her faith in God was unwavering. And she was always quick to encourage somebody else, including myself. We went to lunches together. We worked out together. You know, just the things that I do know about John Paul. I truly do not believe that she took her own life. I do not.
Interesting. Now, this was obviously recorded last night. It was during News Nation's Ashley Banfield show. Of course, they had their theories, their speculations at that time. But now we have some new updates, and I'm going to give them to you right now. Okay? There have been updates that have recently been coming out revolving around her timeline. So I will say this too, T-dubs, okay? I just want to make sure you guys know about this. T-dubs. I'm going to use a lot of code words from this point on, okay? There's just a lot to look at. There's a lot going on in this timeline. There is now a 911 dispatch call that has been released. We're going to be listening to that in a little bit after I go through this timeline. I want to make that abundantly clear that this information is not going to be easy to hear. And this is some really devastating stuff. The other thing, though, is that there is photos. So hold on, let me grab some of these photos real quick. It shows footage of her actually purchasing a weapon. Indeed. I just want to make sure everyone knows this information. Have mercy. Sorry, I'm just grabbing these photos real quick so I can kind of play them as we go through this breakdown. Sad stuff, guys. You know, I will say this. You never know what somebody's going through. I will say that. I still do believe, no matter what, I still do believe that something happened to make her go to this place. I don't think that this was just a thing because, out of nowhere type thing. Like, I really think she was pushed to this edge because it seems very abrupt. And I'll explain here in just a minute. Okay. So just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay. I got some photos. We're going to look at those here in just a second as well. All right. Here's the media release that was just recently put out. Okay. So let me blow this up so everyone can see it a little bit better. Okay. Media release. Okay. Today, A investigation that has tugged the hearts of people across the nation has been ruled a S. The decision was based on surveillance footage, interviews, physical evidence, and the examination of the North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office. On Saturday, April 27th, 2024, approximately 2:54 p.m., Robeson County 911 Communications Center received a 911 call from a female. The caller asked the dispatcher if her phone could be located because she was going to do the unthinkable thing to herself and wanted her family to be able to find her remains. During the conversation with the dispatcher, the caller hung up the phone and the dispatcher was unable to contact the caller. The dispatcher was able to find the location of the caller and dispatched a deputy to that location. The deputies contacted the Lumber River State Park superintendent upon their arrival at the River State Park. The deputies and state park rangers conducted a search of the area for the victim. The search was aided by a Robeson County Sheriff's Office drone. During the investigation, a black Honda Accord with a South Carolina registration was located in the parking lot at the state park. The investigators confirmed that the vehicle belonged to Mica Miller, 30 years old, of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, I want to share this with you guys here. Here is her car. And before we continue on, I'm going to go ahead and play the audio of this dispatch.
Robeson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
In National Park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Fair Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing, hold on one second. I don't think you are in Robeson County. Are you at the Lumber River State Park?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Tell me what's happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
One thing I do want to point out That's the whole thing right there, guys. And apparently the phone call drops, or I guess she hangs up. Okay. One thing I want to say, I know some of you guys are like, oh, she sounds so calm. I don't think she sounds calm at all. I think she sounds torn. I think she sounds defeated. I think she sounds like she's done. She's made her decision. She's done. Let me continue on though, because apparently I guess this is the phone, a screenshot of the phone as well. Okay. And she went to this pawn superstore, Dick's Pawn Superstore. Don't worry, we're going to get into that in just a minute. But let me continue on with this information here, okay? With this timeline. But you heard her, you heard her voice. That was her saying that she was done. But she wanted to make sure that after she did this unthinkable, she was able to make her family was able to find her. Okay? So she thought about this to a certain extent. To a certain extent. But it does sound like she was moving quickly. Does that make sense? But she was like, okay, but I don't want them wondering where I am. I don't want them thinking that I'm missing. I want them to know that I'm right here. So they're able to find me. No problems. But let's continue on, okay? Dialogue with Me TV. Oh, you know what? I might play it again a little bit later, but let's get into this piece, okay? Let's get into this piece real quick. All right? We got more because there's a lot to dissect in this piece. So let's get into it. So, of course, I said the investigators confirmed the vehicle belonged to Mica, okay, of Myrtle Beach. Investigators located a 6-hour gun case in the passenger seat of the vehicle and a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. Investigators also found a receipt for the handgun, okay, from a pawn shop and a receipt from a convenience store in the vehicle. Both receipts were dated the same day for the day of her demise, April 27th, 2024. Okay? So, one thing I want to show you guys, because they do have photos, they have receipts, okay? So they show her, and it says down there on the bottom, if you see my mouse, April 27th, 2024. She's right here. There's her vehicle. I'm assuming walking into this pawn shop right here. She walks into the pawn shop. She goes in. And she's all smiles as she's buying a weapon. It hurts. This hurts. And what's crazy to me and what like just blows my mind is that it just seems she seemed fine. She's wearing all black. Yes, she is wearing all black. But there she is in the pawn shop purchasing what she's going to be using later on, shortly after. Okay? I may play the audio again in a little bit, but if you need to just rewind it, I would just recommend doing that because I don't know if I can listen to that again, to be honest. All right? But let's continue on. Yeah, let's continue on. So, they found a receipt from a convenience store, of course, the receipt for the pawn shop, etc., all in the car. Okay, so she didn't really go far. She didn't go anywhere. She was dressed. She went to the pawn shop. She went to a convenience store. She made the phone call. Right during the search for the park. Of the park for the 911 caller, investigators were approached by an individual who found a bag near the water edge with an identification belonging to Mica. the individual stated that he heard someone crying and then a loud bang while he was fishing. Law enforcement continued the search, and E911 received a call from an individual who stated that a body was located in the water. Law enforcement responded to the location and contacted the North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office upon locating the deceased. The victim was that of Mica Miller. The 9mm handgun was located in the water at the crime scene during the search of the area. The serial number on the weapon matched the gun box that was found in her Honda Accord. During the investigation, Mica's phone and other personal belongings were located. A search of Mica's phone revealed that she conducted a Google search for national parks near me, and the Lumber River State Park location was provided. The investigation also revealed that Miller and her estranged husband, J.P. Miller, had been separated and were involved in the legal system. The information led to the investigators confirming the whereabouts of Miller and a female that he was allegedly romantically involved with. Investigators were able to confirm that both individuals were not in North Carolina on the night before and the day of her demise. Investigators learned through interviews that J.P. Miller was at an athletic event. I can't say athletic for some odd reason. In Charleston on the day of her demise. JP's vehicle was observed traveling on Highway 17 bypass in Horry County at 2:22 p.m. on April 27th, 2024. The investigation confirmed that JP was accompanied while traveling to and from the event in Charleston, South Carolina. So this photo of this truck, which I'm going to share with you guys right now, is that of him in Horry County, all right, going to and from a sporting event with another person, which most likely was his side chick. Is it Ori? Hori? It's pronounced Ori? Okay, fine. Ori, okay? So there's his car as well. So he was nowhere near the scene of the crime. That's important to consume with our minds. Of course, that's her car I showed you guys before. Let us continue. So he was going to and from a sporting event in Charleston, South Carolina. So he was nowhere near her, which is interesting. Nonetheless, very interesting. On Tuesday, May 7th, Sheriff Wilkins, investigators, and the medical examiner met with the parents and immediate family members of Mica Miller. J.P. Miller was given the opportunity to attend a separate meeting, and Miller indicated through his attorney that he would not come to North Carolina to meet with the investigators. I wonder why, though. That's very interesting nonetheless. Investigators conducted several interviews and developed a timeline of events in relation to her demise on April 24th, 2024. They conducted several interviews and developed a timeline of events in relation to her death. Yeah, they meant 2020. They meant April 27th, not 24th. Okay. So that's a little bit of a typo, but moving on. Gotta love these updates with their typos. 11 a.m. Miller was observed on her Ring camera arriving at her residence on Margarita Drive, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We have that photo right here. There she is. Okay. 11:38 a.m. Miller was observed on her Ring camera leaving her residence. So, sorry, that is the one that I'm showing you guys. Sorry, that I just showed you guys. Miller is observed on store surveillance walking into Dick's pawn shop, which is located in Myrtle Beach, which I just showed you guys. A minute later, she's observed at the register and initiates the purchase of a weapon. 12:34 p.m., she's observed leaving Dick's pawn shop after purchasing a weapon and ammunition. 1:06 p.m., Miller's black Honda Accord is observed traveling on Highway 501 near 4 Mile Road, Conway, South Carolina. 1:27 p.m., Miller's black Honda Accord is observed arriving at 41 Grocery and Grill, which is located at 41 SC 41 Mullins, South Carolina. Around 8 minutes later, she's observed leaving the store after purchasing a drink and gas. Now that's this photo right here. Right here. Okay? Just so y'all know. Okay? Moving on. 2:54 p.m. Miller called Robeson County from the state park. All right? And what we know is that this park, Lumber River State Park, is 32.7 miles, 41 minutes away from the Grocery and Grill in Mullins. Okay? And 911 call included below, which we just heard the audio, right? And then she says, first, let me say on behalf of, this is what the sheriff says. First, let me say on behalf of the Robeson County Sheriff's Office that our sincere condolences are being sent to the family and friends of Mica Miller. This incident has garnered much attention across the Carolinas and beyond. I want to assure everyone that a very methodical investigation was conducted by our criminal investigations team and crime scene investigative team. Unfortunately, rumors and conspiracy theories were spreading quickly and assumptions were being made. However, in the end, we must make decisions based on the facts and the evidence that has been gathered. While I know it's not what many people wanted to hear, the evidence is quite clear and compelling, and we are as saddened as anyone that this occurred. There are many factors that we have reviewed that occurred over an extended period of time that are probably related to the real reason for this investigation. But in the end, sadly, a tragic decision was made by Mica that ended her life. So there you have it, guys. There is footage. I mean, shoot, the footage says a lot. And those are facts, indeed. Most definitely. But I'm wondering, what happened before? What made her go, let's see, this timeline, for example. She went home. She was observed, okay, arriving at her residence in Margarita Drive, okay? And then 38 minutes later, she's observed leaving her residence. What could have happened within those 38 minutes? She went home, and then all of a sudden, she just decided this was the time to disappear? This was the time to go to a nice scenic place and to do the unthinkable? I'm still kind of curious. Like I said, I get it that we have got to lay heavy and lean heavy on the facts, and the facts say what they say. There is footage, and there's no question that gun was actually purchased by her. She made a phone call to 911 that is recorded. We just listened to it, and she said she was going to do the unthinkable, in which she did. But I am still kind of curious as to what made her do that unthinkable act in that way. It seems like she was getting ready for her day. She seemed Some are saying she was getting ready for work. That's why she was wearing all black. But at the same time, it just doesn't make any sense that she just decided, yep, today's the day. Right now. I'm doing it right now. I'm telling you right now. Yes, she most definitely did this. There's no question about that. I'm not side-eyeing the medical examiner's office. I'm not side-eyeing the facts and the evidence that was presented to them. I'm not. Let's not forget the 911 call where she's making a phone call and she's saying, I'm done. But I'm telling you right now, there's more to this story. She had to have gotten something, a phone call, a text message, a picture, an email, a voice memo, whatever it is that triggered this young woman right off the bat. What made this woman decide today is the day and I'm doing it right now and I can't do this anymore. I can't fight this anymore. The voice on that 911 call does not sound like somebody who is calm, doesn't sound like somebody who is mentally stable. To me, it sounds like somebody who is mentally exhausted and has been pushed way beyond the edge to the point where she's thinking, I just can't do this anymore. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I do truly believe that this was not just by her having thoughts in her head and suddenly she just was at wit's end. I think with everything that's happened to her, the things, and even they said it at the end, like, yes, there's a lot of conspiracy, there's a lot of theories and speculation, rumors and all that flying around. There's many factors that we have reviewed that occurred over an extended period of time. This is what they're saying right here. So they know about all the other stuff. They know about all the stuff. They already know that maybe this divorce was not an easy divorce. All the information, all the factors that we've reviewed that occurred over the extended period of time that are probably related to the reason for this investigation. So the 5-0 knows about this ish too. They know about it too. And they're like, no, we understand that there's something ain't right, but it's not the reason why she's no longer here. Or it's not somebody going over there and pulling the trigger on her, pulling up and just pew pew and running off. No, she did this without a shadow of a doubt. She did this. But I'm telling you right now, somebody else yes, she pulled the trigger, but somebody else helped her do that. Somebody else did that. Somebody pushed her over the edge. So I want to know who were the last people to contact her. What emails did she receive? What kind of phone calls she got, etc. Because like I said, something ain't mathing right for me here. Something really is not mathing out here for me. And yes, Brenda on Facebook, gaslighting is horrific, especially by someone you love. Exactly. She could have been getting gaslit like a mug randomly, and it just took her beyond. You also got to remember, this is somebody that has known her. JP has known her for a very, very long time. So my question is there a possibility of him actually knowing what buttons to push and what buttons not to push? You got to remember, if he really is what people claim him to be, which is this master manipulator, what are the chances of him actually knowing exactly what he needs to do to just set her off just a little bit more, to the point where that was a really dusty snap, but you know what I'm saying. Okay? You know what, Nicole B, that's exactly what I'm thinking. That type of A that leads to this kind of unthinkable most definitely should be a charge. And there should be, I think, there should be a serious investigation into this. But this is what's really crappy about this. As soon as you find out, oh, it's the unthinkable, it's a self-inflicted thing, they move on. They just move on. It's very sad, guys. Melly, thank you so much, Pascal. Imagine what we don't know. Hey. Yeah, I'd like to know too. Real talk. I'd like to know what we don't know. Yes, there's been a lot of information out here that hasn't been like confirmed by family or anything, but you got affidavits saying certain things from family members, basically saying that this man is an absolute monster, a control freak monster, and then she's gone. I still am believing that she's going to be speaking from the grave for a while until things get right back on course, or justice, if it needs to be served, is served, because something ain't right. Carbonized, thank you so much. Freedom doesn't always look the same. R.I.P. Yeah. 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 It's I was just talking about this, Lori. So thank you so much for saying this on Facebook. Listen to all the videos where he is talking to his congregation numerous times and is downgrading his wife. I don't know how his congregation could sit and listen to him belittle his wife. But that's the thing. He would do this countless times, guys. He would put personal information like his marital woes and all that stuff, certain things that doesn't need to be out there for the public. If you're out here bad-mouthing your husband or bad-mouthing your wife, like to other people, like, no, that's not right. That's not right at all. Unless you're in a situation where you feel like that person's going to take your life. Yeah, but that's crazy. That's an art of manipulation. You're trying to get them on your side without really bashing it over their head, being like, come on, be on my side. My wife is crazy and she's a bad person. You know, you just throw out these little anecdotes of little stories here and there. Like I said, breadcrumbs, you slowly massage it into their brains to the point where by the next time they see Mica, they already have all this judgment and they already have these feelings that are not positive about her. They're automatically leaning towards JP because of all the stories that he's putting out here in the pulpit during his sermons. And it's not like they have a choice to press fast forward or click to the next video or, swipe up. They're stuck right there because they're in church. It's crazy, guys. Master manipulator, okay? Master manipulator. Oh boy, what a. Listen, I'm gonna say this countless times. I'm gonna say this over and over and over again. Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely, Lori. The video will also show he manipulated his congregation. Yeah, he constantly was manipulating them. Oh yeah, I'm over there in Kenya and I'm busy, making a school for 100 kids and she's draining my bank account. What is that? Why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about that to your congregation at church? And let's not forget, his congregation goes out. They're filming these things. This is live streaming. They're live streaming that to the people that are at home or watching on their phone and all that. So you're out there bad-mouthing your own spouse, not only to the congregation that's there, which is a couple hundred people, but thousands of other people that are watching on the website and whatnot, in other social media streaming platforms. That's disturbing, y'all. That's absolutely disturbing. But real quick, I want to say this, okay? Of course, I think this is very important to remember. DV is no joke. And a lot of you guys that are out here that are surviving, that are survivors, that haven't gotten a chance to talk to anybody, that feels like you don't have a place to speak out, that maybe you're not lucky enough to have family members or a big brother or sister or whatever that's willing to be your guard dog, right? Sometimes you feel like you're just alone. And I feel like with this young woman like Mica, I think she just felt absolutely alone. And that's a terrifying thought. And I can't even imagine what some of you guys that are out here surviving and survivors of this have to go through on a daily basis. So I urge you, please, to make this phone call, okay? If you feel like you can't confide in the people that you love, because maybe those are the people that are inflicting the torture and pain that you're going through, please just know that there is a phone, there is a person just a phone call away. You can call them at 1-800-799-7233, 1-800-799-7233. Again, please do not forget, you are not alone. Okay. And of course, there's another hotline, the SA hotline. You can simply just dial 988. Okay. That is the national number now. Okay. I know that there's a longer phone number out here, but it's easier to remember 988. Again, I have to tell you, you're not alone. And there's always somebody out there that is willing to listen. And I'm telling you again, I'll keep saying this till I'm blue in the face as well. If you feel like a phone call ain't going to work for you, then you start talking to people. You start saying it. You keep saying it until somebody listens. You talk to that person and they don't hear you, you say to another person. And if they don't hear you, you say to another person. If they don't hear you, you say to another person. You keep talking until somebody hears you. That's it. Hopefully you won't have to talk as much or look and search for that kind of help. But I know there's evil people in all types of corners of the world, even the ones that are smiling in your face and preaching the word to you are also can also be dark and disturbing as well. They could be frauds hiding behind the word of God. That actually does exist. Surprisingly enough, that actually exists. So just don't forget, you're not alone. There are people out here that are willing to hear you. I'm sure you have friends and family that are willing to hear you as well. Please just go get the help that you need. Start making phone calls. Start talking. One more thing I want to point out to you guys. This is something I had that I was going to give you guys, but that update from law enforcement was breaking. And of course, thank you to all you guys, okay, that were letting me know what was going on. But there was another account. There was another post that was made by an ex of JP's. And I want to share it with you anyway, okay? I do want to share this with you because no matter what, this is very telling in my personal opinion about the type of person that we're dealing with right here, okay? This was an ex of JP's. She was with him when she was around 14 years old, and he was not 14, okay? So let's take a look at this too, okay? Like I said, just because she did this to herself does not mean he did not play a part in this. He played a part in this, y'all. There's no way this young woman just said, oh, I'm going to do all this stuff. No. Why was she scared for her life? Why was she being followed? Like I said, I got questiones. I got them questiones. Let's take a look at this. All right. While posting updates, I'm going to speak out on the Mica Miller case. Now, I want you to know that this was posted, okay, yesterday before these updates were dropped. Again, doesn't matter. I think this is a very dangerous individual that needs to be looked into. And I hope law enforcement isn't done in their investigation. Yes, we now know what actually happened to Mica, but I hope that they are looking into the things that she may have left behind with her brother, with her family members, and etc. Okay? I'm really hoping that there's a deeper investigation going on here. I hope they haven't closed the case yet. But let's continue. Like I said, this was from yesterday. So she doesn't know anything. She's just giving us information about her relationship with him when she was at 14 years old. Okay. So she says, I am an ex of John Paul Miller. I was 14 years old and he was 19. Huh? Okay. He 19 though. He ain't even in high school where he's like dating her when he's like a sophomore in high school or something like that. Him 19. Okay. This is college bound. Okay. Was she in 8th grade or something? Maybe 9th? Maybe 9th. But this is so disturbing. Okay. Regardless, wrong on all levels. Let's move on. I was a child, but at the time I didn't see an issue. But at 19, obviously he should have. We dated for a year and I found out he was dating his first wife, Allie, while we were together, unbeknownst to her. Oh, see, like I said, he was a swashbuckling scallywag. Moving on, gallivanting, out here gallivanting. Anyway, see, he's still doing it. You see what I'm saying? He's a cold-hearted snake. You know what I mean? She later found out. And he lied about it as he continued to do about the multitude of infidelities, the remainder of their marriage. This has been hard to watch and keep quiet about, but I feel it is time to be transparent about it. I attended and graduated from Grandstand Academy, later renamed Cathedral Hall Academy. The church and school his father founded and was headmaster of, which later became Solid Rock. I dated John Paul and dealt with a small amount of his comparatively. JP also contacted me inappropriately after Allie finally left him due to infidelity. Around 2016 was not remorseful of his actions to her with others, was upset over the amount of people that left the church that hurt him financially, and was quickly shut down on my end. What I did witness myself and my siblings as members in the church as teenagers is the overall A from JP and his father, Dr. Reginald Wayne Miller, to others. Interesting. I also visited many state parks with JP, visiting his dad because he loves state parks to, quote unquote, reconnect with God. Things that make you go, Anyway, Myrtle Beach State Park is also where Dr. Miller was arrested for soliciting carnal things with men. You could look that up publicly, which we all have heard about. His multiple trips to Pakistan and how he had to flee Pakistan with his friend and his boyfriend and all that stuff too. It's very, very interesting. Like I say, thicker than a Snicker. Moving on, the fact that Mica was found in a state park only brings me back to this family. I feel I have been a coward in not speaking out and dealing with this privately with my family, but I want to say we believe this was Mica's last and oh so important purpose to stop this man from continuing to hurt others and stop him as a representative of our Lord and Savior. I am a Christian and love the Lord so much. And I want to say that what J.P. Miller and Dr. Reginald Wayne Miller represent is not of God. It is not a representation of Jesus Christ. God is good and pure and kind, and he would never want a man to treat his wife the way JP treated Mica, or his previous wife too. Let's not forget that too. Please don't let this evil man turn you away from the church. The church of God is so beautiful and good, and this man is an evil representation of someone who took advantage of that. Don't let the devil win. Okay. So you get all of that from an ex that witnessed some things that she did not need to witness. Interesting, right? Interesting indeed. Listen, she's right. If you are God-fearing, if you are God-loving, or if you are trying to find some sort of connection spiritually to the great beyond, I wouldn't recommend looking at Solid Rock Church, because I feel like that is a church that is built on a foundation of nothing but vitriol and the pain of many, many victims. And now the blood of one of their first ladies, by the way. Let me just point that out. This was the wife of the pastor of Solid Rock Church. Now, I understand that she had some serious mental health issues. But at the same time, if everything that is coming out is very, very true, we already know that it is public record about Dr. Reginald Wayne Miller. And that stuff is bad. He's a very, very bad man. Now, if the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, there could be a possibility of there being a connection to the reason why Mica took her own life in the way that she did. And what's also very interesting is she did Google national parks near me. And let's connect the dots for a second. Let's take a look at this for a second. And I could be reaching, so forgive me. But let me look at this really quick. Okay? So she Googled state parks near me. She found the park that she ended up going to, right? Which was about 41 minutes away from where she was when she was Googling it, right? So she did the Googles and then she left and she did that thing. But here's what's interesting is that it's this part right here. Okay? What she did, this is from the ex-girlfriend, okay? From an old ex. She said, what I did witness with myself and my siblings as members in the church as teenagers is overall A, from JP and his father, okay? And how they were treating others, right? I also visited many state parks with JP, visiting his dad because he loved state parks to reconnect with God. Now, what's interesting is that she was found in a state park. And she says, this only brings me back to the family. In my mind, I keep thinking, is this some weird type of message that Mica is trying to do? Remember, this was his way of reconnecting with God, going to a park, reconnecting with God. What if that was her way of saying, I'm going to reconnect with God too, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she's sending a message in what she did. It's definitely a message in my personal opinion. It feels like a message. Because if she really wanted to do this, she wouldn't have to Google national state parks near me. She would have just stayed at home. You see what I'm saying? She would have just stayed home and called it, and done the unthinkable. You know what I mean? I hate even talking about it like this. But the National State Park brings JP bliss. Interesting, right? It's just interesting. But like I said, I'm wondering what other pieces of information did Mica have? Did she really have information about the church? Did she really have information about JP? Were these things that happened in the past that involved other individuals in their bedroom? Is that actually 110% true? Sure, JP was out here gallivanting, okay? Out here trying to get his hand stuck in a cookie jar as much as he could. Apparently, he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar a lot. So I'm wondering, was it just women and him cheating on his wives and girlfriends? Or is there something more going on? Is there really random people going into their bedroom and Mica being the Cassie to his Diddy? To the point where she just mentally breaks? Like, that's the thing. To go through that kind of terrible experience is mind-blowing. But to live to tell the tale is even more mind-blowing as well. To just the fact that you have to live through that is insane to me. The stories and the experiences that Cassie had in the past, for example, are absolutely mind-blowing and wild. And you got a very powerful man like Diddy that was making her life very, very terrifying as well. So I'm wondering what's happening here. And I wonder what's going to happen as far as if there's going to be more investigation into this. And I really, really hope that there is. And I will say this. First off, Bad Girl, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. I will say this. Just I feel like I went off topic a little bit, and I apologize. But even when it comes to your faith in God, even when it comes to your faith and you're trying to find the right church, the right group of people, blah, 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 be careful. Be choosy. Because you got to remember yes, you can praise and you can find the Lord, okay, and you can find faith in a McDonald's. I'm being dead serious. Christ, when he was walking amongst his disciples, he didn't have a church. Church was wherever he was. So be mindful of the house in which you are praising in. Some of them are built on top of a foundation that is very, very bad. And it doesn't matter how much that person is smiling at you and shoving the good book in your face every time while they're using their used car salesman smile. It doesn't mean that they're the real deal. Just like when we go and we want to buy a car, we want to buy a house, we want to buy food. We're picky about that piece of fruit that we pick, right? We don't just pick any old piece of fruit. If it looks all dirty and brown and all that stuff, are we going to eat it? Are we going to pay our hard-earned money to eat that brown, disgusting apple? Hell no. You're going to find the right apple. You're going to find the right food to put into your body, right? Same thing with your car. Same thing with your house. Same thing with the clothes that you put on your body. For the most part, we care about what we put onto what we consume. Your faith and your religion and your beliefs in whatever it may be are just as valuable. They're just as valuable. And we need to be just as picky, because a lot of us, we find our forever house, or we wear those jeans until they literally fall off. Fellas, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We wear those clothes until they fall off our bodies. We wear those shoes until the soles are, eaten all the way through. We even drive our cars. Most of us will hold on to our cars for decades. Decades sometimes. In fact, that car may be your son or your daughter's first car when they turn 16. It might be a clunker, but it still works. And you still have beautiful, amazing memories from that car, right? We need to do the same thing when it comes to wherever we decide to go and praise. Wherever we go to open up the good book and speak and consume ourselves with positive spirituality. Because a lot of these places end up becoming our forever church or place of wisdom and praise. And the next thing you know, you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know I didn't know that this church was that bad. And it's like, well, if you did some research, maybe you'd find out that this church was really bad. The reason why I'm saying this is because I watched that Hillsong documentary. So only 4 episodes. It was actually really, really good. So surprising. But I was like, wow, they built mega churches all around the world. And for anyone to be able to do that, mad props to them. That's pretty damn amazing. But it was still built on sins. It's still built on crimes done by not only just the Father, but the Son as well. And the thing is if anybody knew about any of that stuff, they might reconsider where they kneel at, where they open up the good book at, and confide in their spiritual leaders. It happens all the time, and it's crazy to me because a lot of these things get thrown under the rug, get pushed aside, or they get ignored. And that ain't right. So remember, because you got to remember, a lot of these places, you find that one church that you love. Next thing you know, your kids are getting baptized there. They're going to youth groups and youth Bible study classes and all that stuff. A lot of activities. You're involving your children into those things. You're growing old. Sometimes your funeral is at that very church. Just make sure it's the right church. Just make sure it's the right church. Because I don't care how much they have the amazing praise, worship bands and the music that makes you feel some type of way, that tugs at your heartstrings and manipulates your mind and all that stuff to think, oh my God, I miss the Lord. You don't think that maybe they're changing those chord changes and the music that they're playing ain't trying to tug you? So you stay and tithe and give and become a patron and buy all of their stuff? I'm just saying, be mindful of where you praise. Just be mindful of where you praise. I'm not sitting here saying that all churches are bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying be mindful of where you go, because there are people like that out there in the world that are full of BS, that are doing terrible things to people, and then they go into the pulpit and they start telling you how you should be praising, how you need to live a righteous life, when they don't live and they don't even practice what they preach. They're worse than you. They're worse than one of the worst sinners in the damn church. And they're the ones holding the mic and holding the Bible and shoving it in your face and saying, you must praise, when they don't even know what to do with their own lives. And they're committing crimes right in your face. And that's what upsets me, because it gives faith, it gives all of this stuff such a bad name, and it doesn't deserve a bad name. It doesn't. But it instantly gets a bad name because of people like this guy right here, and even his dad. His dad is terrible. His dad is terrible. Like I said, you don't need a church. Okay? You don't need a church. Church is everywhere. Church is everywhere. That's just what I think. Because even this guy, he says, I got this. I'm going to tell you, but I still want you to keep coming back. He don't give a damn. He wants you to keep coming back because it's money. That's how he makes money. That's his job. Let's not forget that. A lot of these guys, see, this is the problem. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm just going to say this because it does irk my soul. It does really irk my soul so much. Okay? So I'm going to say it. And it makes me emotional because I see it every day and I look at everybody and I'm like, wow, you really are? You're really feeling like this? I'm going to say it and I don't give a damn. But you got some of these big mega churches. They're walking around here with their Tom Ford tailored suits. They're wearing their Gucci and they're wearing the Supremes and the Louis Vuittons and all that stuff. And they're holding that Bible and and their glasses, their Gucci glasses are up there looking all swagged out like they walked out of a Imagine Dragons music video shoot. All right. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait a second, hold up. You are preaching the word? Damn, you driving a whoa. Is that your Porsche in the church parking lot? Word. Oh, so you're just an actor with a Bible. I see. T.D. Jakes, Joe Osteen, and a whole slew of them. All of them. Tailored looking good as hell. T.D. Jakes walking out here looking like Steve Harvey. Everything tailored. Even his beard is tailored. Talking about swallowed. And I'm sitting there going, wait a second. Where's the life of frugalness? Don't get me wrong. I understand that we do need some spiritual leaders out here, but I thought they were supposed to live a life that is frugal and that is humble. But they out here with the private jets and the Bugattis, the Ferraris, and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, how is this even a thing? And what's interesting is that instead of people actually going to them for that spiritual advice, these people are actually just rocking with them because they got the Bugatti in their $15 million home with their 3 swimming pools and a helicopter pad and a whole separate house for the kids that are only 5 years old. Just saying, the smoke and mirrors is mind-blowing. And they sensationalize and they make it look sexy to be part of this God squad when actuality, they're one of the biggest con artists in the world. They out here hustling like a mother lover. Standing next to Donald Trump and be like, yeah, praise be. What? What? Like, I need to see a spiritual leader that's wearing like a t-shirt from TJ Maxx, some Gap's jeans that barely fit him, and some rope sandals, okay? Reeking of patchouli. And he hasn't had a bath in 7 days. That's what I want to see. Not this, here my helicopter. God, I want to tell y'all something, God is amazing. Here in my helicopter pad. I was just thinking about the days when I was just preaching the word. And I couldn't even buy not one item from McDonald's on the dollar menu. And now I'm right here on my helicopter pad. God is good. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? God is good. And all the time? Yeah. Praise be. That's what you see all the time now. And I'm like, what the hell? That has nothing to do about faith. You're a motivational speaker. That's all you are. You ain't talking about. You're a motivational speaker. That's it. You just hide behind the Bible and throw out a couple Corinthians chapter such and such, verse such and such, said such and such. while I'm in my helicopter. God is good all the time. And all the time, that's right. Praise be. That's ridiculous, guys. I ain't wrong, man. John's like, yo, you wrong, bro. I ain't wrong. It's the truth. It's the truth. And then they go buy my bath water. It's been, oh my God. It's been blessed by me and my constituents. Buy my bath water. It's holy now. Like what? That's real. I'm not kidding you. Go and watch any of these shows that they play. Live televangelists. There's plenty of them. Oh, get the holy snake oil, massage that onto your arthritis seals. It's gonna make it a lot better because you got Lord right there on your elbow, seeping into your skin, working on that arthritis. What? That's real. I'm not kidding. A couple years ago, I talked about this. Creflo Dollar wanted to buy a brand new jet because he said he needed to get out there to spread the word of the Lord. Huh? So you couldn't just buy a couple tickets on Frontier? Okay? Fly on Allegiant. You know? Shoot. Southwest Airlines. Plenty of space. But no. I need a jet that is my own so I can keep getting out there and spreading the word of the Lord. When in actuality, he just wanted to have that so he can fly back and forth from vacationing. So he can go out to, Belize or something. I'm just sorry. As much as everyone goes, oh gosh, like the Carl Lentz and the Joel Osteens, you see them and all that with the money and the tailored suits, the TD Jakes, etc. For me, it's like, nah, man, that's not how you preach. That's not how you pass on the word and talk about scripture and whatnot. You just don't. I'm sorry, that's just not it. And I get it that you need to have pillars in the God squad, okay? In the God business. But at the same time, it's so odd to me that they have these mega churches and then all of them get to write that stuff off. They don't have to pay one tax dollar because they talk about the Lord. I'm not kidding. Now, ain't that something? They go tithe. The more you give, the more God returns. And then everybody goes and they go, oh my God, this is the last $1,000 I have, but man, God gonna give me 10. And what does that pastor do? Thank you so much. Hopefully that check clears. So as I was saying, Corinthians such and such, verse such and such. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. And you got, Joe Osteen, God. I just want you to know that God is good. He's there. He does that every damn Sunday. And people are still tithing. Mega church, multiple mansions. Sorry, but nah. And yeah, Vicky, tax-free Monets. They making bags, yo. And people are out here going and just giving it to them. It's wild, guys. It's wild. It's wild. The God business is wild. All I'm saying is make sure you're going to the right kind of church. Make sure you're if you are looking for that kind of thing, you're going to the right kind of Bible studies. You're finding the right kind of group of friends and people that you can confide in and can say that they are family and are there for you. Okay. But at the end of the day, some of these big guys, it's a business. That's it. And they continue saying the same BS every single Sunday, but they do not practice what they preach. And I'm not expecting my preacher or my pastor to be perfect, but I am expecting them to lead with example, lead by example. That's what I'm expecting. But there are organizations, there are churches that are built in a very disturbing way. And we're seeing that right here with this situation. And I'm hoping that Mica continues to speak from the grave, because I don't think she got justice yet. I don't think she's the one who I don't think she's the only one that pulled the trigger in this situation. And I will say this too. I think I said it, but I'll repeat it again. I do not think that all churches are bad. I'm not sitting here saying that all pastors, even the ones that make money, are bad. I'm not sitting there saying that. We all gotta make our money. God ain't paying our bills. We have to physically pay for the things that we have, right? I get that. And some pastors are more successful than others. But I just say you have to be very conscious of who you are having preach to you, telling you what's going on in the world of faith and all that, because a lot of them aren't even doing what they should be doing and what they're telling you to do as well. That's all. So hopefully with this, we'll figure out something here very, very soon, and we'll get some more truth. But yes, Tammy Faye, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker, Jimmy Swaggart, yeah, and most of these guys back then were getting caught with embezzling and fraud and all this stuff. Like I said, it's a business, and some of these guys are con artists. They're just really good. They're just good at it. That's it. Yep. Daisy Rose just said cheaters. Anita just said it's called being a hypocrite. Damn right. Damn right. That's what I was talking about. The 700 Club. Thank you, Brenda. Yes, there's a 700 Club, a whole channel to that. Okay. I've seen plenty of it. And some of it's old school. It's like that old Southern, like the music's really old school. But you got the dude out there just talking about everything. And he's like, go buy my oils. It'd be good for the rheumatoid arthritis. You got that diabetes? Just consume it. Drink it. Say 5 Hail Marys. The diabetes will be gone. Because I blessed that it did. Sorry. Nah. Melly said, I want to attend Pascal Church. Man, that'll be... It'll be me just... No. No. Okay. We call those Sunday believers. Yeah, carbonized. Yep. Okay. Yes, that's true. Pretzels, thank you so much. Please be careful of the false prophets. Thank you. See, now you talk about church stuff. Be mindful of those false prophets. They lurking like snakes in the grass. Like that snake talking with Eve in the garden of, you know what I mean? They are out there. If it smells like horse manure, it's horse manure. Yes. Okay. But that's true. Yeah. I'm just preaching Dana, I'm just preaching what I feel. Okay. And I've been in the church game for a lot. Well, I'm not a preacher or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I've been to church since I can even remember. Okay. I can't even, I was, grew up in church, for crying out loud. So you see a lot of stuff. And then when you finally grow up, and then you grow up here too, you start to realize certain things. You take a step back and you go, oh, this is one big ass business. Whoa. And I've been to mega churches, and I've been to the smallest churches in the freaking world where there's only been 3 people in the room. I've seen it all. Okay. I've seen it all. The mega churches, though, are it's very obvious. You can't deny it. It's so blatantly in your face that you're like, wow, this is a money business. This is just a business. It's a damn near concert. It really is. And don't get me wrong, the worship music is not bad. Some of the best musicians are playing this music. Some of the best performers, you're like, whoa, damn. But it's like you're going to a Coldplay concert. Real talk. I've never been to a Coldplay concert, but you know what I'm saying. I said Imagine Dragons earlier. It's like going to an Imagine Dragons concert, okay? All the tailored jeans and the chinos and the, you know what I mean? The long tees and the scoopity-doo haircut. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like buzzed on the side, but then it's a scoopity-doo in the front. My white people, fellas, you know what I'm talking about. The scoopity-doo haircut. It's like this. Okay, the scoopity-doo. Buzz on both sides. Okay, and then the scoopity-doo. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They look like rock stars. Okay? But they out here with the scoopity-doo. Okay? I'm just saying. And they all look the same. It's just a variation. They all walked out of a Instagram photo shoot. And it's the leather jacket that's like not full length. It's kind of like a crop. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna kill myself. No. You know, it's like the leather jacket that's not a full leather jacket. It's kind of up here, and then they got the long tee, or they got the long like white button down shirt that's kind of like a long tee thing, and it's just like down. You know what I mean? You feel me? And then it's like the what's the word? It's like the ripped jeans, you know? And every girl's like, they got this romper thing with the freaking fedora. Okay. Just saying. You just see it and you're like, oh, it's this. Man, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hold up. Because it's like suddenly that is the style. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up for y'all. We hanging out for a second. Hold on. Let's see. Let me see. No, that's not. Where is it? Oh, okay. You know what? Okay, what's his name? Okay, Carl Lentz. Fashion. Let's try that. Okay. I'm trying to find like the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to find it. Where the heck is it? Yep. This is a terrible photo. Hold up. It's kind of like this. See over here? It's kind of like this. You know? That's not the best. Hold on. But everyone rocks this kind of look now. Man, all of them are crappy resolutions. Hold on. But this issue cracks me up every time. I'm like, oh my God. Because even now you see it in like trendy pastors that have like TikToks and all that. And you're like, wow, you suddenly became this specific. Okay, here's one. I got one. It just becomes this look. And I'm like, why is this? Does this even exist? Like, you are not a rock star. You are not and it's the Skloopity-Doo. Look at the Skloopity-Doo right up there. That's what I'm talking about. It's the t-shirt with the jacket that looks like it's too short for him, but he's still wearing it with the long tee shirt or the untucked button-up white shirt, and then it's like the Skloopity-Doo up on top. Somebody said a Creed concert. Come on, man. Can you take me higher? You know what I mean? With arms wide open. You know? It's a whole thing. And this is the thing that stays. It stayed, and everyone's this now. You know? Everyone's doing this look. It's just hilarious to me. It's just absolutely hilarious. Because now these pastors are trying to look cool. And they're trying to turn these worship services, these services, into a doggone rock concert. And that's what they basically are. Hold on. This is another perfect example. Still with the Skloopity-Doo. Take a look at this. Skloopity-Doo. Look at that. Come on now. Look. See? Come on now. I'm done. The defense rests. All right? And the Skloopity-Doo. And the glasses I was telling you about, which were probably like Gucci or Armani or something crazy like that. Fully on tailored. Look at that. Looking like a damn rock star. And the Skloopity-Doo. We're just having fun, guys. I'm sorry. Look up Bama Bang's haircut. You know what, Kimberly? I'm going to do that now. Thank you. Thank you. I'm done. Deanna, we're just having a little bit of fun. I'm sorry. We're just having a little bit of fun. Okay. What do you got against Imagine Dragons? What they do to you? No, come on now. I got some of their songs on my my workout list when I'm on my playlist when I'm getting swole. You know what I mean? So no. Trust me. It's just the outfits that make me think of Imagine Dragons. I don't know why. Okay. That's the only trendy band I could think of right now that's out here that's popular still. Are they still popular? I have no idea. But you know what I'm talking about. Okay. You found the Skloopity-Doo. Yes. Yes. Yes, Perfizzle. Okay. Perfizzler. Hopefully I'm saying that again. Right. But yes. And the Skloopity-Doo. All right. Bama. What did she say? Shoot, I forgot it now. I was too busy laughing my butt off. Hold on. Bama, Alabama Bangs. Oh, look up Bama Bangs. Bama Bangs. Is that a thing? Bama Bangs. Okay. Bama Bangs. Hold on. Bama Bangs haircut. Wow, that is a real. No. Don't do that. Don't do me like that. Come on now. Stop with the Bama Bangs. Why? Why? It's like you went to Supercuts and said, I want the old Bieber haircut, and this is what you got. No. No. The Bama bangs. Oh my Lord. Yeah, it's like a bowl cut, but with like a little swoop, you know, like a little Bieber swoop. Remember the old school Bieber stuff? That's a Bieber haircut. Is that still a thing? I thought that was done. I thought the Bieber haircut died. What? Okay. The Bama bangs. That is terrible. Yeah, see, it's like Justin Bieber. Like, I don't know why he looks like he just smelled a fart in that photo, but doesn't he kind of look like he smelled a fart in that photo? You know? But it's like that one. But yeah, Bieber did perfect it, you know? He did have that on lock. Why are we talking about Bieber's haircut? But speaking of that, speaking of faith and Carl Lentz and all that, Carl Lentz, the guy I just showed you, the one that with the Scloopity do, he's the one who helped Bieber find God, find faith again, right? He's the one who helped him find faith. I mean, Bieber was all kinds of messed up back in the day. I mean, he's still kind of messed up. But you know what I'm saying. And you cannot tell me that this young man in this photo does not look like he just smelled a fart. I'm just saying. Just kind of like that fart just came in and cut through the room. You know what I mean? But moving on. Profizzle. Profiler. Okay, it's phonetic for profiler. How is that Profizzler? Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with you. If that's how you say it phonetically, cool. Profiler, thank you so much. But it's literally no one gets it. My bad. I had it for a long time, for too long, and it's all over my socials. So, or I'd change it. You know what? Honestly, do you? Okay. If that's how you want to identify yourself as the Profizzler, hey, honey, you just need to be that Profizzler. All right. Wear that with pride. Just don't ever wear the Bama bangs. Can we agree on that, profiler? Okay. So, I appreciate you guys letting me show you guys that stuff. I'm just saying, because after that, like I said, after watching Hillsong, and then I've been on this case. I'm like, yeah, man, they all look the same. Damn, they all look the same. Like I said, the Scloopity do, the tight jeans where you're wondering how, and then the jeans, not the jeans, the leather jacket, the ripped long t-shirt that probably he bought for $800. But like I said, this is not somebody who's living a life of frugalness. Like I said. That's not somebody living a frugal life, a good, wholesome, frugal life. No, that is somebody who's living in the lap of luxury. And hey, good on him. I'm just saying, I'm side-eyeing it. And I don't care how much of he's sitting there smiling at me and telling me about the Lord. I'm not feeling it because I don't believe it. And I'm sure he's got an incredible amount of charisma. Then be a stand-up comedian. That's what I think. But I just don't see mega churches really. I just don't see the purpose of them because I don't feel like it is about spiritual. It's about capitalism. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I got a little political there. Woo, boo. But at the same time, it does feel like capitalism. Okay, money. Give me the monies. But that's just me. That's just me. Okay? That's just me. We all gotta eat. So I get it. But it's very interesting. Trace, thank you. Pascal needs to start doing impression videos. He's bloody brilliant at it. Thank you. I appreciate that. One day I'll be a voice on a cartoon. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I got that already. Thank you so much, Profiler. I got it. Pro Fizzler. Anyway. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys coming in, chopping it up with me. Excuse me. I do appreciate it. All right. But yeah, I just had to get that off my chest. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Make your money how you want to make your money, baby. But at the same time, you know, if you're going to be out here preaching the word, I just feel like it's, I don't know. I just feel like there's a different approach to things with that, you know? Like, I get seeing a doctor being successful. I get a lawyer being successful, you know, like that, looking like that with the Scloopy-Doo. I get it. But a preacher, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. Okay? Yeah. Just don't know. Okay? But yeah, Scloopy-Doo. I need to like turn that into a t-shirt and it just be done. Okay? Scloopy-Doo. Okay? I appreciate it, guys. Brenda, I appreciate the love. Trace, I appreciate hopefully I'm making you laugh when you say finishing you off. I'm hopefully I'm making you laugh. Okay, but phones. Oh, yeah. Let me think about it for a second. Ja just said, you got the coolest chat ever, bro. Yeah. How you do that there? I don't know. It's you guys. It's because of y'all. We get some people who come in every once in a while that are, you know, questionable. But we try to keep it fun here, keep it light to a certain extent. I mean, this subject was pretty heavy. But nonetheless, okay. I'm going to open up the phone lines just for a minute, okay? So if everyone doesn't get a chance to call in, don't get upset. Don't take it personally or anything of that sort. If you want to call in with any thoughts about any of this stuff that we just talked about, please let me know. Put in, please keep it short, keep it sweet, and keep it respectful. If you're an ass, I hang up on that ass. That's basically it. And that's how the cookie crumbles, okay? But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case. I know we kind of dove off the deep end a little bit, talking about the Scloopy-Doo and whatnot. But at the same time, I know a lot of people want to get some things off their chest, feelings about, you know, their relationship with the spiritual relationship and whatnot. So let me hear what you guys got to say and what you think. Do you think this is done, or do you think they're going to be looking into Pastor JP? Let's take a look at this. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Pascal. This is Patty. I'm calling from Virginia.
Hi, Patty from Virginia. You're very sprightly voice today. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Well, thank you, number one, for the laughs. I've been in chat for quite a while. I was talking the other day when we were talking about S, and I was talking about what happened with my mom in '86. I was 13.
Yes.
And how it killed my dad. Like, he lived 20 years after, but he was never the same. And how this man preached this sermon and then said he had an announcement, that is, if he had done it differently, maybe I would feel different.
Right.
Maybe if I didn't have my experience. Also, as a first responder, I see this stuff happen firsthand. That is usually not the kind of reaction that you see. You know, there's like 5 stages of grief. We learn all about that. But
right.
I've never seen that. So I appreciate you taking the time to show that video. I did go back and look at some of that. And I think that there's too much that is just laid out there. Oh, well, he was here and he was there, and it couldn't have been this or it couldn't have been that, because we've got this evidence. And like you said, she was at the park, and
right.
But she was a devout Christian, and she believed in the Bible, so much so that she kept giving her husband this chance. Why would she do this? That's my thing. So
yeah,
yes.
I think that, you know, honestly, just really quick, just to throw in my 2 cents here too. I think there was a level of fear. There's a level of fear, and I think there's a level of just loneliness. Like not loneliness like I have no friends, but like loneliness in this struggle that she's going through that no one could relate or no one could really fully understand, because would they maybe in her thought process it was more of a, would they even believe me if I said everything to them? And also fear of just, maybe someone attacking
Judgment.
her. Attacking
because,
her,
20 years I was in a bad situation. And what these narcissist people do is they keep you from your family. They keep you from friends. They give you time limits, or that you can do this and you can do that. And, people don't understand because that's not a normal way of life.
Right.
So I do understand it when you explain it on that aspect. But if all of these people that are now coming forward were seeing all of these red flags, why did nobody say anything before now?
Yeah,
that's my thing.
I'm actually very curious about that too, because the math for me still ain't mathing. Yes, she did what she did. May she rest in peace, and it's still terrible, but something led her to go there. And and the other attempts that she did in the past, something led her to go there too. And I don't think it was just because of her having a bad day or mental health. I think it has to do with all the things that she had to endure that made her try the other times before and try this time too. Go ahead.
And we would have never believed my mom done it. And still to this day, I have a hard time believing it, because she was the one person everybody else turned to. We did not have DV in our family, but she had it in hers growing up. Since her death, I've also found out about SA by a family member.
Oh, boy.
So when you look at what she wrote in the letter now, with that being said, a lot of it makes sense. Like you're saying, who wants to come out with that kind of stuff? Because, you're being judged. Your family member did this to you. And in 1986, we didn't talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's still, that mentality is still out there. I see the stigma very, very badly with mental health and with addiction. That's why I went back into being an EMT after all these years, because somebody has to be compassionate and have empathy for these people out here, or things like this will continue. And I'm going to just be quiet with that and let someone else call in.
Of course.
Thank you so much for all you do, Pascal. And thank you for also knowing when to get us to laugh, because we need it when we get all down in these rabbit holes sometimes.
Yeah. No, of course. And I appreciate you guys being so understanding, because I know some other people or other platforms might take that the wrong way, or think that I'm trying to be, trying to disconnect or trying to be rude. But I do appreciate you just appreciating a little levity, you know what I mean, in such a dark situation.
Being a first responder, it's important sometimes that we do that, and we don't. And just in everyday life, people need to learn we have to have a disconnect, whether from work or a spouse or being around people 24/7. You have to have something to take care of you.
Absolutely.
My dad always said, look out for number one. That doesn't mean be selfish and not love others, but look out for yourself, guys, and check on friends and loved ones if they have mental health issues.
Absolutely.
I love you all.
We love you too. Peace. Yeah, I appreciate that call. Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brenda Stacer. I'm calling from Kansas City.
What's your name again?
Brenda Stacer.
Brenda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for calling. I'm sorry. It's hard to hear you. What's on your mind?
Okay,
Speak
I'll
on
turn
it.
up the volume.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you thank you for today. You cleared up a lot on Mica about her situation, and it is very possible that somebody pushed her that far.
Yeah, I'm on the side of that. I'm not, and it's going to be up to law enforcement and the families and all that on whether they believe that to be, some sort of a crime that was committed. But I'm wondering what she left behind as well, because if there was crimes that were committed against her before she left this planet, I'm interested to see what those allegations. Go ahead.
If he made written or recorded gaslighting messages, that should be proof enough.
That should be. But I'm kind of curious, will that be enough to press charges on him? I'm curious about that.
That's a very sad thing. It might not be in this day and age, but it needs to be made in the future.
Right. That's what I think so too. So we'll definitely have to see what happens here, you know?
Yeah. And I also want to say you're very professional, and thanks for the laughs today. We all needed that.
Thank you. I appreciate you just taking the time to watch and sharing a laugh or two with me. I really do appreciate it. All right.
Yes, sir. I'll let you talk to others. Thank you very much.
All right. You stay blessed.
You too.
Right,
bye.
Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Pascal. It's Pro Fizzler.
What's up, Pro Fizzler? What's up, Profiler? How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind?
Good. I really enjoy your show. You know, I had a thought with Mica, and it's, you know, it's sad and it's disturbing, but we had heard that there are different forms of abuse allegedly from JP, and I know one of those was sexual. So I don't know if I can say that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just essay. It's fine.
It was along those lines, and actually, I'm not going to go into it, but there's another case with a pastor along those very same lines, with the wife and the whole thing. But I almost wonder, she seemed fed up, like in that post she made on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, she served him with papers. She's fed up. She's like, you're going to let me do this. I want out. Or I'm going to tell people in the congregation about you doing X, Y, and Z. And then I wonder if that set him off. And so he turned around and said, look, I have whatever, photos, who knows what.
Right.
And I will, because she seemed like such a sweet girl. And I just can't help but wonder if he didn't somehow threaten her and just push her over the edge.
Yeah.
You know, because she seemed like she was ready to get up and go ahead in her life.
Yeah.
You know,
I
just feel something pushed her.
I have a feeling that something definitely pushed her over the edge.
Theory. Yeah, it's just a theory, but something pushed that poor girl.
Yeah. Kristen Wright just said in the comments, coercive control. And actually that's a damn good phrase right there.
Exactly.
Because they
use it in the UK a lot, and it's very appropriate.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
They use that in the UK a lot with mental health and DV and stuff, and it's a very appropriate way to explain it.
Yeah. And I just think that something excuse me. I'm just hoping that something, whether it's in her phone or something, gets exposed here very, very soon. Because obviously we don't have all the answers as of yet, right? We at least have the timeline and the breakdown of what happened. We already know that she did this, but at the same time, I am kind of curious as to, like I said, it's who did she have a phone call with? What was the email? What was the text message? What was it, if anything, that did this, that sent her beyond? And I think we're gonna have to wait for that
on that page. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But thank you so much for calling in.
Sad. I feel for her and her family. So
yeah.
Thank you. And by the way, you do a great job. I
Thank you.
appreciate the time and effort you put in the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
That was kind. And yes, I absolutely agree. Hopefully we get some answers here very, very soon beyond just the timeline. What? Let's try that. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Regina calling from North Carolina. First of all, I love your show.
Thank you.
Second of all, this guy pushed her to her limit. If you've ever been, which I went through it with my ex, and thank God I got out. I had to move to another state. But I understand what Mica was going through. He was stalking her,
Yeah.
cheating on her. But they got this persona. And my ex was a big shot in a big church.
Oh, really?
And I'm not going off on churches.
No. It's okay.
Don't get me wrong.
I already did that. I already did that. Okay.
I put in comments, absolutely. I put in the comments, absolutely 100% correct. But he played a big role in the church.
Yep.
So when we started having problems, I become depressed. I had no one to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
He had my family fooled. He had, I had some friends that he didn't convince. But I'm saying, when you got a family that's fooled, you don't have anyone to turn to, Pascal. And it's sad.
Yeah.
But I hope this jerk gets charged with something.
I hope so too. One thing I will say, and I think this also goes to all the people that are out there that have found freedom. One, I want to say, congratulations on your bravery of seeking refuge and getting away, no matter what the outcome was, as far as if it was going to be, ridicule or people not believing you and whatnot. And I think one thing that we all have to remember, especially those who are getting away from surviving such a toxic type of violent relationship, is that you're no longer there. So that's number one, a good number one, right? That you're free. That's number one.
Right.
And then number two, I do truly believe that what is in the dark shall come to the light. That, eventually he will expose himself, or the truth will come out at some point, whether whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 2 days from now, whether it's 2 years from now. And I feel like it will be exposed, but then the people who are out there that are constantly the naysayers, that are constantly sitting there going, oh yeah, no, she's lying, she's just being crazy, they're going to be the ones owing you an apology. You see what I'm saying?
That's right, Pascal.
So how long did it take for your family to kind of come around and see the truth?
Well, I moved from North Carolina to Florida, and my children, he was a good stepfather to them, but he was, I could write a book on him. But anyway, my family, it took them probably 5 years to come around. He had them convinced I was crazy. He even committed me to a hospital.
This sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Oh gosh. And I'm telling you, they need to look. And he always had somebody on the side that he was talking to.
Yeah.
And if I said I had suspicion, and it was happening inside the church, and I would talk to my family, and they would say, there's no way. Well, anyway, long story short, he committed me to a mental hospital.
Right.
Pascal, and he told everyone I was crazy. I had a great job. I was a supervisor. I could go on and on. But that man, well, I can't put the blame on him. But he Bible belt. He just beat me with the Bible. Well, you marry for good, for worse. And anyway, it can go on and on, but I can really, really relate to her story. And the reason I moved to Florida is because he stalked me. He would see somebody's car in my driveway, take down the tag number, and then he would call me and tell me who it was. And they didn't even know him. I was so fearful that I couldn't even have a relationship. So I sold my house and moved to Florida to get away from him. But I still live with the stigma that some people still believe I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But some people have woken up to him because he got married real quick.
Yeah.
When I filed for divorce, and I filed for it, and to be honest with you, I was at her point, and thank God I didn't follow through.
Man,
because that was just but anyway.
Yeah, no. Because I mean, obviously, if he was doing it to you, he's gonna do it again, right? Even with his next wife, he's gonna do it. He's gonna continue the same process all over again. It's like a broken record. So, the fact that you got out while you could, I think, is an amazing thing. I'm sorry you had to go to great lengths, like move to a whole other town, a whole other state, just to get away from this man. But yeah, this is the kind of terrible thing that we all are that we see every day, right? Like we're seeing with this situation, a woman that felt like she had no place to go, that she was stuck, that she was lost. So I really commend you for being so strong and staying in the fight, as much as you could.
Well, Pascal, when you go to a big church, mega church, and they work, whether they're the pastor or a usher or whatever they may be,
right?
People look up to them.
Absolutely.
So they're gonna. But my son, after I moved, my son told me, "Mom, I always wondered what happened to you because you deteriorated mentally. I didn't understand." He was younger. But he said, "You know what? He had this other lady, and he married her and was living with her before the divorce was even final." And he was so true. And I never did bash it to my children. But they've seen it, as you say, that darkness will come to light.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, thanks for taking my call, Pascal.
No problem.
And thank you for covering the stories. You're amazing. I always watch you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Okay, you have a good evening and take another call, but I just want to share my story.
Of course.
And I really can relate to that.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have a great evening.
Thank you.
And I'll listen to other callers and their story.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I appreciate you. I'll see you in the chat. All right.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. So I am going to close out with that. Okay, guys, no more phone calls. No more phone calls. Okay, guys. Yeah, Speak On It is done. But yeah, I think it's really important that we remember that, I mean, it's scary to think. I get it. It's scary. Whether man or woman, doesn't matter. You are trying to get away from a very volatile and very dangerous situation. We all have moments where we feel a little bit like we don't know what to do, right? There's that feeling of, okay, I don't know if I could, I don't even know if I can leave this situation. You know, I don't know if anybody's going to believe me. You know, and all that. I mean, I think it's scary to think of going out into the great unknown when you've built so much with that partner, right? You got the friends, you got the family. And I know I say this all the time, like the house that you build, but it's the house that you build. It's the foundation in which your house is built on. It's everything that's keeping you sheltered, you know, and I mean that more metaphorically speaking, not figuratively, you know, and that includes family, friends. It's all the things that are around you, your support system, right? That make you feel safe in your own environment, safe in your own home, safe with your spouse. Say if you need somebody to watch your little baby, watch your kids or whatever, babysit, you got those people that will be willing to do whatever they can to help you out, because that's what family does, right? That is the house that you build. But then when you leave that house because you feel that that house is not safe because the other person that you built it with is acting crazy and putting their hands on you or doing something maybe even worse than that, it's a lonely place. You're outside of that house. And what's terrible is that during that separation, during that you leaving, getting out of there are people that are going to literally say, oh yeah, I don't believe you. I believe the husband. What? That doesn't make sense to me. That really doesn't make sense to me. And that's the level of manipulation that some people really do have. And we see it on the other side of the fence too. It's not only just with women not being believed, it's also men that deal with things like this. Men who are actually victims, but the wife will spin it and make it look like they're the victim as well. We see it on both sides. We do. And it's terrifying. Because then it's the guy who's out there, he's being looked at like the monster, while the house that he built with his spouse, okay, is being held up by all the friends and family that you guys cultivated and loved and cherished with over the years. It's terrible. And then you're on the outside of the house looking in, and everyone's having a grand old time, and they're all talking mess about you, okay? And you're sitting there going, but I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. I have nothing to do with what she's saying there. Or he is saying there. He's the one who put his hands on me, not the other way around. I didn't do that. This is the reason why I'm outside the house. It's scary. It is a scary thing. But you got to remember, number one, you're out of that house. You're out of that fear. You are out of that nightmare. Sure, there's going to be judgment, people talking behind your back if they don't believe you. Then, hey, there are plenty of people in the world that would love to be your friend. I think there's enough people on this planet that you can remind yourself that you're not alone. That sometimes a friendship starts with a simple conversation. Hi, my name is, and that's it. The rest is a wrap. Next thing you know, you guys are the bestest friends, vacating with each other, selfies all day long, okay? Inside jokes and everything. Sometimes you just got to pick up, move on, and start all over again. And I know that part is scary, but it beats being in that house of hell, doesn't it? Something to think about. Hold on. Apparently, I got a excuse me, an email or a couple emails, and that has something to do with something else. And I will talk about that on another show, because I know that there's some new updates in another case. Okay. But we're going to stay on this one clean, and then we're going to move on. We will talk about the other one here in just a little, bit. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But I want you guys to remember, man, woman, doesn't matter. Kids, all that. I want you to know, getting out of that place, yes, it's scary. The unknown is scary, but sometimes that's the safest place than being inside that house of hell. There's still people you can call. There is still hotlines that you can make phone calls on. Real talk. All right, like this one right here. There are plenty of organizations out here that can help you. I know that there's sometimes it's like you run out without even thinking, then all of a sudden you lose everything, friends, other family members, and all that. And if that's the case, that's terrible. But I also do think that the truth shall come to light eventually, and then those friends will eventually go, "Wow, oh, I'm so sorry, I was such a jerk. I thought you were doing all the bad. I thought you were lying the whole time," and all that. Sometimes you just got to be patient and just let it ride. But in the meantime, enjoy your life. Find the positive in life. Find the good things in life, because there's a lot of beauty in the world. There's a lot of beauty in the world. And it's a whole lot of skaloopity-doos too. Just saying. All right? So stay positive. And just don't forget to laugh every once in a while, because you have an infectious laugh. And I'm sure you got a smile that lights up a city. So keep smiling, keep laughing, keep looking at the brighter sides of life. And lean on the people that rock with you. And if that's just one person, then hey, lean on them. That's why they're there. They won't complain. And if they do complain, then they ain't your friend. Time to make some new ones. Okay? Period. All right. I got some updates here in a second. I'm going to be hopping on in just a little bit. I got a new breaking news piece that I want to share with you guys here in just a minute. So just be on the lookout. I got another episode coming up. All right. But as Dub said, more Joel Osteen, please. God loved you. He loves you. God is good. God. Melly, thank you so much. I want whatever you had for breakfast. Coffee. Thank you for covering this. Obsessed with you and the content. Thank you, Melly. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. But coffee, that's all I've been living off of. That's why I'm like, I need to take a little bit of a break, and then I'll be back on with some breaking news, because we got some new updates, y'all. Berenice Rivas, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Yes, there's some breaking news. I know everybody's been messaging me. I already know it. Okay? But we will be talking about it here in just a minute. I got to hop off. I got to make another thumbnail. I got to make another live, and then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to break it down. Okay? Okay? Because this is a long episode. Okay? But I want you to know, real quick, sorry for the left turn, but I'm praying for Mica's family. I am seriously praying for Mica's family. I'm hoping that they get some more transparency very soon. There's something not right with the Pastor JP dude. I'm going to keep it real. Something about it I do not trust. I think she was pushed to the edge. I think through all of this gaslighting, all of this harassment, all of this lurking in the background, all the stuff that she went through, and especially when he knows that she is mentally fragile in general, and she probably was at her most fragile during these last few months, last year or so. He used this as an opportunity to keep putting pressure, to keep applying pressure until she cracked. I understand that there may not be some sort of law in which he broke, that they can throw the book at him, okay? The law book, not the good book. But I'm hoping that there's something that they can do. I'm hoping that the family actually does have more information here. If Nathaniel and Sierra, the two sister and brother, the two siblings, with their affidavit, if they really do have hard evidence, they need to be presenting this in front of lawyers. They need to get this in front of law enforcement with the quickness, period, point blank. There's something in there I'm sure that they can get so that they can take this mother lover down. I really don't think that this young woman just suddenly said, I'm done with the world, and then she did this. I think that there's something happened, and she could not take the pressure anymore. And it's all because of how terrible this man was treating her, and how terrible he was treating her for years. And again, if what the streets are saying are true, then he did some crazy stuff, turned her into a Cassie, and he was Diddy. And if there's a history of this kind of A, and he's done this multiple times before, then he needs to be brought to justice as soon as possible. Yes, T-Money, there is something else I want to say. Allegedly, she had binders filled with content, filled with information about these unthinkable encounters with other individuals, and then some. So if the law enforcement actually has that in their possession, like I said, I'm hoping that we're hearing more from her from the grave than what we've heard so far. I don't think we're done with this case. I don't think this case is closed. I think it's just about to get broken wide open. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Give it time, though. We're going to have to give it time. But there may be some new information, some new developments here very, very soon. Just let them do what they need to do. Hopefully the siblings have the information and they're shoving it in law enforcement's face and saying, do your due diligence. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay? Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Don't worry. I'm going to be back on in about, give me like 30 minutes. I'll be back on again because I got to break this news for you guys. Okay? Some breaking news in another case. So we're going to talk about that in a very short while. Okay? So do me a favor. Thank you so much for the super chats. Mods, thank you so much for holding it down, as you always do. You guys are amazing. Let me just give you some love real quick, okay? Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing, all right? But I have some breaking news I'm going to share with you guys in a little bit. So do me a favor. For this show, though, hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, Twitter. Whatever, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Follow me on my social medias, okay? That really mean a lot. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Go and support the channel if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, crush that join button down below. Become a member. Support if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, do not forget, if you want to support it even further, go to Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. We talk about a lot of stuff on this channel, okay? But we got so much breaking news stuff. It's absolutely insane. So I'm going to try to cover as much as I can today. All right. I started late today. It's going to be a start. It's going to be a late one tonight. So, but I will be back on in about 30 minutes to break some news to you guys. So be on the lookout for it. Okay. Anyway, thank you. And I'll be talking to you guys very soon. All right. Time to get going. See you in about 30. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. See you guys in 30 minutes. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.